Here we go. Classic time here on Racing Post Live with Betfair along the way. What an afternoon it is for Betfair as well. Sponsor just about everything, everywhere you look this weekend. 6 races coming to you live. Raucous reaction, an alternative look, of course, will be showcasing the functionality of the Betfair Exchange, giving you some sportsbook action. Lots of offers along the way, as those juicy tips as well. Dave Orton, thrilled to be here with you on a sunny afternoon. All about the flat now. It starts here. Don't forget, if you're watching on YouTube, do like and subscribe. That's the way you can get involved in the chat box, because this is an interactive show. You make it out there. We want to hear from you along the way. Get involved. Let us know what wins the Guineas. 340. That'll be our final race. We're popping up to Thirsk. Lovely card at Goodwood as well. Really fancy one there in the 240. If you're watching on Facebook, hello, say hello and get involved. And anything, of course, Twitter, #RP Live. Who joins me on this classic afternoon show? Well, lots of people know him for winning races at the Cheltenham Festival, but let me tell you, there is a flat record out there for Mattie Batchelor.
A classic winning jockey, Dave. Let's not forget that.
I'm in the right company today.
It may well be in Lalonde, but it's still a classic in my eyes.
I have got your flat record up here. I'm not going to do it just yet.
You need a smaller screen, don't you?
Oh, well, I have to say, I am surprised at how many wins there are on this screen that I'm looking at. We'll get to it when we go down the line, because joining us from our tipping department, it is the postman, the real postman.
Oh, yes.
Robbie.
Forget about Charlie Post, mate. This is the real deal right here.
The anti-postman is here.
He is here, yeah.
This is a big weekend. Have you put anything up for this weekend?
A couple, mate, yeah. Really like Discoveries later on, the big one.
That's on Sunday,
a couple
of course.
Punchestown, but of course, yeah. It's Saturday today, isn't it?
It is Saturday.
I went out last night. I'm not 100% with it, you see.
Well, I hear you're on your best when you are a little bit jaded.
Yeah, it's a strategy. Before RP Live, I like to go out the night before, because when I'm hanging, I'm sort of more entertaining, I feel.
And you've got your radar is probably better. You're pressing the buttons today for Betfair.
Yeah.
It's your debut doing that.
Yeah, looking forward to it. I mean, I've used Betfair quite a bit over the years, so I know my way around. It should be pretty smooth.
That's handy. We've got Sam and I'm here, aren't I? Of course, I'm looking at a camera over there. The cameras have changed, as you might notice, you regular viewers out there. Great to have our community with us this afternoon. We've got Sam and Dan in the gallery today, pushing the buttons. But who joins us from Betfair? Because Barry Orr is on track all 3 days. He was there yesterday. He will be there today. The great man, if you're there. We know you like to take us to the course as well on your phones, your tablets, whatever you're looking at us with your earpieces in. Welcome along if you're at the Rolling Mile at the moment. Go and find Barry. He is there somewhere. He'll be there Sunday too, because joining us, back he comes, it's Marc Hryhorskyj.
Yeah, Dave, great to be back. It has been a while, keeping me fresh for the flat season. But yeah, I got top racing this afternoon, covering Thirsk, Goodwood and Newmarket. HQ obviously being the highlight with the 2,000 guineas, the last race we're going to cover. Native Route Trail has been quite weak. It was about 2.1 out to around the 13 to 8 mark. Money for Aidan O'Brien's Luxembourg, 8s into 6s. That's the ones the backers are on. But yeah, looking forward to today's racing, showcase the Betfair Exchange capabilities and hopefully make some profit for the charity of choice this month.
It's great to have you. You're based in Hammersmith, aren't you, Marc? So a little bit away from us in London. We are in the capital, people out there. Let us know where you're watching today. Who's got the barbecue going? It's the classic weekend. The big one looks strong, doesn't it, Marc? You're going to be telling us who's queuing up. This is something that Marc does very well. Tells us when the prices are going to crash 5 minutes before the off, who you want to be on, where you're going to trade out of. You've got some trades today, of course. I love it how you're still rocking that Envoy LN picture.
Yeah,
that is dedication.
Yeah, as I said, I might have to. I had to chat with Robbie about this. I might have to change it to Allaho next, or I might get the honeysuckle colours up. I'm sure that'll go down well on Twitter, won't it?
Plutard would be a good one as well, man.
Plutard would be a good one as well, of course, yeah.
Lights on for flat viewers, maybe.
Maybe Twilight Calls this afternoon, of course.
Get beaten later,
in the Palace
That's
House.
a favourite you want to be taking on, all of you.
I like it. You've got a bit between your legs.
He's on one, isn't he?
Warming up for this on the way up here, mate.
We're going to have some fun this afternoon, as ever. So let us know you're out there. 1:50, the first race. Got plenty of time to chat away. Should we get some housekeeping out of the way? I don't know if you know this. You've worked with Marc before, haven't you, Batch?
Yes.
Robbie hasn't.
No, I'm not familiar with the geezer, no.
He's usually got... Well, he's very well known on Twitter, Marc. He's got his own podcast and all that sort of stuff, and he's a good judge as well. And he usually has 2 headphones on. Marc, I'm a little bit disappointed, but you're still somewhat of a drone pilot out there, aren't you?
Yeah, still going for the drone, man.
Where's the other one gone?
Because I am close to Hammersmith. I'm a bit in disguise today, but I need to be careful, you know.
All right, okay.
If you're in Hammersmith, mate, why don't you come into the office to join us? That's what I want to know.
That possibly could have been done. He needs
next time.
He needs his own serenity. The pandemonic scenes in here he cannot be having. We're going to. It's going to go
the same, isn't he? You never get him in London.
No, well, he has come in, but yeah, well, you know, Tom's.
I don't feel I've met the geezer in person.
What, Tom Cigar?
Yeah.
Who's he gone for today?
Been working with 4 years.
The big one.
You haven't
Who's
missed
Tom
much.
gone for? I know he's gone for mise en scene tomorrow in the 1000.
Not a clue, mate.
All right, I'm going to get that up. We should really know off the top of our heads. There's been a lot been said about our tipsters today, and we shall address that very shortly. But I want the 1, 2, 3 for you out there in the classic. We've got after the Palace House at 3 o'clock. We've got 40 minutes to build up to the biggie. That's going to set the 3-year-old and mile division, isn't it? Sort of going forward. Can anything from the 3-year-old ranks trouble Baid, who comes back out in around about 15 days' time, isn't it? May the 14th, we're expecting to see him at the Lockinge, all being well. Looks like he's going to mop up unless one of the 3-year-olds can emerge. So the 1, 2, 3 in the Guineas. Will it be Native Trail on top? Or will you be going for a fly? I'm going to go down the panel as well. We'll get the guys in the gallery to give us 1, 2, 3 as well, because we've been seeing some trifectas and some forecasts been landed in this studio. Ridiculous scenes going on. I wonder if anyone can pull it off today. Will it be the obvious 3? Also, I would like a flat horse to follow. One to just, enjoy. No, don't give him away right now. Don't give him away right now. I know you said you were going to improvise this.
The cogs are turning now. I don't know who I'm going to put up just
Batch has got a really interesting one. Who has been seen recently, but it's a very interesting. It's in the right stable, I think. I'll give you that one. So look, we're going to tease that for you this afternoon, and I want to hear yours out there as well. Give us one that like the old tend to follow, isn't it? Who's going to rack up the most points, basically?
Quite annoying. We can't play that. We're not allowed, are we?
We're not allowed.
It's a shame because I'd quite like to.
It's not. It's almost like it's in. I don't know. You work in the city and you're not allowed to trade or something, is it? Loads of people have always asked me. I don't know. Well, obviously we know about you. That's why you're not pressing the buttons. You are still a licensed individual. Did you know that Mattie's still riding?
I didn't until you mentioned earlier. That surprised me. Yeah. How often?
Not very often.
Not very often. That's why he's in here. We've got the beauty of him in here.
You mean just riding horses on the gallops, or actually?
No, I still ride out most mornings, and I'm lucky enough that I go over to Jersey. I was there a couple of weeks ago. There again next weekend. So I still like to keep my hand in and. As I said before, I still enjoy it. I still love it.
We ought to say that if there's one person that's ridden at Royal Ascot, it's not me and you here.
Certainly not.
Or Marc. It's Mattie Batch. We'll get that story later on. You've ridden at Goodwood as well, haven't you?
Yep.
In fact, I am looking at your record right now on the flat. 20 wins from 161 rides.
Not bad, is it?
It's not bad at all, is it?
Not bad.
I mean, honestly, 19 of them are at Lalonde, and one of them is at Longcrest. But you've had 30 seconds as well, Batch, and a couple of those. You've had quite a few rides, haven't you?
Yeah.
On your weather?
Yeah.
Right, I mean, I shouldn't be surprised, but you are a jockey obviously known for your jump exploits. Hennessy winning jockey, Cheltenham Festival winning jockey. And 10 for George Baker.
Yeah, they was over in Lalonde's, a winner on each of the all-weather tracks over here.
Clean-up job.
And of course I worked for Gary and his dad Charlie Moore, and we were sort of talking when I had my first ride over jumps, and Gary suggested, he said, like, you're quite light enough, do you want to go on the flat just to try and sharpen me up and improve my style? But that never happened, but hopefully it sharpened me up a bit.
Well, it means that he might know what might win a classic later on, so looking forward to some classic tips coming from Batch. So there you go. You've been given the afternoon to get in. Ed's doing our socials out there today. You'll be clipping them up. Let's hear from you out there. Who's going to open up the social corner? If you're new to the show, welcome along. Loads of fun we have here this afternoon. It's your alternate look at the racing, second screen experience, whatever you want to call it. But we're learning all about how to make some money on the exchange, of course. Shall we go to Marc Hryhorskyj? It's the ROR retraining a racehorse. There's just 1 day left on that, of course. The profit has been blown out of the water thanks to Barry Orr. Are you going to add to it today, Marc?
Fingers crossed. Got a few prices lined up for this afternoon, so pretty confident I can get a couple of winners.
OK, all right. That was succinct, wasn't it? If only everyone was as succinct as that on this panel. Marc, shall we get a lucky 15 out of the way? People love Barry's at the top of the show because this is what, if you're not sure about it, we do say that this is the time to start, backing your judgment on the flat, shall we say? Because you've had a couple of weeks now. Lincoln was, a little while ago. This is traditionally when the players start to come out. The weather's set fair, isn't it? It should be a fair track for everyone out there. But we've still got our jumping hats on. It's been Puncher's Town this week. Some people might want small stakes for a nice outlay.
Yeah, I've got an each way lucky 15 lined up, all prices. Most of them are eye catchers from the previous run. Robbie, if you want to put this on for me. First one, 150 Newmarket, Retea, paying 4 places instead of 3.
I like Retea as well.
Yeah, big eye catcher last time out.
Yeah,
it's around 11 to 1, is he?
Yeah, he is, mate. I'll get that up now.
I mean, we're all crossing our fingers that Robbie can actually do this.
So I'm not great at I'm very good at navigating Betfair, not Max. You see, this is a Mac. Yeah, what's next, mate?
Next one is 205 Thirsk, Snash.
Ooh, he's very interesting, Marc.
Snash.
Yeah, it's big eye catcher, Haydock last time out. Step up and trip should suit.
Second run for David O'Mara, isn't it?
Oh, it is. You haven't scrolled quite a way down. 40s.
Yeah, I like that one. Yeah, big price. 7.
Hryhorskyj.
Yeah, next one, mate.
3 o'clock Newmarket, Arecibo, 4 places instead of 3. Jamie Spencer, hold up ride. I think he'll come late. But 16s, 20s.
Yes. Is he that big? I'm surprised he's that big.
Yeah, both the Robert Car runners are quite big.
Yeah, thought it'd be a bit shorter.
Last one is the 340 Roger Variants. Aiden, 4 places instead of 3. Another eye catch. Yeah, like that run last time out, staying on strongly. 12.
I think I'm the slowest navigator you've ever had on there.
We've had some people who are terrified of doing this. We've had ex-jockeys doing it. We've had Natalie Green,
I
who
don't know
calls
why
herself
you should be scared.
Discalculine. I'm pretty sure you're the slowest yet.
It's because I'm hungover, mate.
You're supposed to be at your best.
30 to 1. That's an odd price, isn't it?
Yeah, big price. We'll go for a pound each way.
So how much is this going to return?
Should be about 300 bags.
Okay, there we go. All right. I like that.
Scroll down. Here we go. £1 each way.
Sorry, Robbie, there's only 9 minutes to the first, mate. We're absolutely fine.
Oh, they're off.
This must be so painful for you. Whoa.
It's not a jumps race today as well. We can't catch up.
Each way, do you say, Marc?
Whoa.
£1 each way, yeah.
That returns.
So look,
a cool 316
if you don't
grand.
want to, if you're a bit worried about, I'm not sure about who's going to be fit and who's not, loads are coming out. 8 of the last 10 Guineas winners have been first time out. Okay, so if you're not sure, this is a good way to just enjoy the afternoon, have some fun with us, put your feet up and let us know you're out there. This is your chance to get a shout out. And we will be giving you some of the best race reaction and analysis post-race, of course, as well as pre in the business, 100%. We're back tomorrow, should say that as well. James Millman, keeping it brief for us, alongside Graham Rodway, myself, and Marc Hryhorskyj doing the double as well. Loads of people out there watching. Happy days. Can see in the chat box, the regulars are up there. We'll be giving you a shout out, guys, as well, so you can see some 1, 2, 3s in the Guineas building up. 8 minutes away from the first then. Lots said about small fields, chaps. I should say, actually, just very quickly, I said, let's find out who Tom's gone for. Tom Siegel. He's not put up anything actually in his commentary because he's already advised Luxembourg. Don't tease if you like him or not. But that is Tom's tip, of course, for Aidan O'Brien, who you may remember last week. Barry and G-Rod had a nice little match bet, didn't they, that Luxembourg would do the Triple Crown, something that Camelot couldn't, of course, who he is being compared to. Barry says he will. Graham wasn't so sure. If he wins this today, expect him to be odds-on for the market of the Guineas, of course. Let's have a look at the first then. There is the market. It's going to change in running as we go. We'll be looking at that, telling you who's going well, who's not going well. It's the best commentary out there. Where some of you don't have pictures as well, so I'll be doing my very best to call them home. Marc, is there a trade in the first?
Yeah, we're going to use the Betfair Sportsbook here, paying 6 places instead of 4, so obviously going to utilise that. I'm going to play 2 against the field. One I've already got on the lucky is Retea. It was good third over course and distance last time out. Lost the left 4 shoe, dwell at the start 2 weeks ago, only beating half a length and was on the outside. The 2 on the inside had the rail. So I like that one. We'll go 12.50 each way on that one.
Oh, yes. Oh, no, not 112, that's for sure. 12.50 each way.
Yeah, that's the first one we'll play. I think it'd be competitive. Handicappers left him on 91. Second one is Stuart Williams above. Marc Hryhorskyj takes a ride. Again, on a handy mark, 93. Bumped into the old boy, Accidental Angel, last time out. He's a big price, but 33s. We'll have 12.50 each way on that one. Play 6 places. Sportsbook to get us started. There's a few at the top of the betting I think aren't that well handicapped. I think Jumbie was a big eye catcher, but I mean double or bubble last time out. He's off 106 here. got to give away a lot of weight. And Summergand as well, was out in Maidan. Obviously has to reproduce that form over here, quite high in the weights.
Interesting. Summergand is, as you know, regular viewers will know, we love him in this. You know, this studio, since we've been doing this show, he's been every year he's delivered at least once or twice. Big ones and on the way. Of course, when he won the Wokingham Stewards Cup, of course, Bruce Millington, great shout that was. And Paul Keeley actually likes him today. So don't be put off. In the Saturday Sizzlers, you'll see that Kills is all over that. He spent the week in Punchestown. Whether the Guinness was going to his head, we will find out at around about 5 minutes' time. Let's go down the panel then. I strongly like one in this, but I will be going after Mattie Batchelor and Robbie Wilders.
I thought Jumbie was interesting back in the handicap.
Loves the gaff, doesn't he?
Yeah, loves the gaff. But I liked Strike Red. Good season last season, and recent course and distant run, and quite eye-catching. I thought and I do like horses that have had a run already.
Talk about stealing thunder. We haven't chatted about this.
No.
Oh, Richard Fahey won the first, of course, with Kalutham. I think we can say that, can't we? Floaters touched off, gave a lead. Didn't look. I mean, they came down the middle, guys. The thing to say about that, we'll get the time for you as well. You expect it to be good to firmish, don't you?
Yeah.
He's fine on that. What an eye catcher he was on his return.
And
He's
I like
drawn
Paddy
in 20.
Mathers as well.
Do you?
Great lad,
Okay, great.
Good lad.
So a quick Fahey double, and the winning most trainer in the last 10 years of this race is Richard Fahey. My thunder stolen. There you go. Strike Red. I do quite like Jumbie. I think he'll run his race, but I'm with Marc. I think he does look like caught just between listed Group 3 and top handicap level at the moment. Unlike the Classic at 340, this is a race where you have tended to need a run in the last 10 years. Strike Red. You've got time in your members club. Have a look at it. Get involved. You will have a decent run for your money. I'm almost sure of it. How many places can we go down to, Marc?
We're paying 6 places instead of 4 on this mark. It's a huge value on the Betfair Sportsbook here.
Love it. Well, it's your weekend, mate, isn't it? Absolutely. This is literally everywhere you look. There's a Betfair sponsored sign, and it'll be interesting to hear next week how Barry got on. But I know he's loving being over there at the moment. Robbie Wilders, 2 for Strike Red.
Yeah, I mean, my selection also ran in that race in which Strike Red was sick for Hryhorskyj, like Marc. Yeah, I thought he
You
was
obviously weren't looking that closely then. You were just looking at the finish because Strike Red would have.
reckon?
Oh, 100%.
We'll see, mate. I mean, sprints just throw up very volatile results anyway, don't they?
Yes, I suppose they do.
Yeah, I get the case there, but I mean, this isn't one I'm overly bullish on for sure. I mean, you'll know that I'm not in love with these kind of races, to be honest. I don't like relish sprint handicaps.
I think a lot of people will be in that category. I have come round to liking them more, I think, over the years. Well, sort of.
Yeah.
You've got to love it all, haven't you? Matt
do.
Chapman once said that to me when I worked on
to be
Sky
honest,
with him
though.
years ago. I said, which one do you prefer? And he goes, you've got to love it all. And one of the rare things that he was absolutely
Got to
right about.
specialise though as well.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm going Hryhorskyj, but that will not be the biggest bet of the day for me.
OK, you're
Would
saying...
Tactical have a chance, Dave?
Well, interestingly...
On his previous form?
Funnily enough, I looked at the Royal Runner, Tactical, Windsor Castle winner, wasn't he, a couple of years ago? Andrew Balding won this last year with Chill, who went on to run some big races. This was the launch for her. And a mark of 107 looks pretty high, doesn't it? However, it's not the highest winning mark in the last 10 years. In 2018, you remember the lovable Gifted Master carried 109. Richard Fahey's Mr. Lupton also carried 107 as well. In fact, a mark of 100... And there's only, how many of them are there? Let me just count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is usually the sort of ballpark, sort of handicap mark you want to be looking at. This is usually a race where they can launch themselves into some, better purses and all that.
Had a
sort of
wind
thing.
up as well. So.
Yeah. He is quite, and Ryan's on, isn't he?
Yeah.
So that would be interesting. And Andrew Balding is just never out of form, is he? He's one of these trainers that always has a respectable strike rate. So I wouldn't put you off him at all. Draw will be interesting. Marc, did you find any pace here? Are you looking? Where do you think they're going to come? I mean, they'll probably split, won't they, to make our lives difficult?
Yeah, no doubt. I think it'll be absolute chaos and running here on the Betfair Exchange. I did think this was a tricky race. See, there's a little bit of money for above here. That was a 50 chance into 36s just there for Stuart Williams. Always a yard that you've got to take note of if there's any money. But it does look mightily competitive. Late money for Black Rod of Michael Dodds. That one could potentially go a favourite here. It's around 8-1. Jumbie, again, quite strong around 7.2. But it looks a wide open affair to get the action kicked off today.
Thanks, Marc. Yeah, you mentioned Black Rod. It was that Strike Red Strike red so far. Spotlight, by the way, also going with strike red. And Ron Wood, who heads the analysis team, their expert eye tips this week have been absolutely ridiculously on fire. Also going for that as well. They tend to pick out the eye catchers for you. You know, these analysts that we've got, the great analysts in the raceform department, they are absolutely on fire. Insufferable they've been this week, and we're all on strike red. I thought you might have been a bit shorter, but there are potential group race horses in there. You mentioned Black Rod. It was that strike red near miss for him that I thought this could be his day, I think. And like I say, if you've watched that replay, I implore you to tell me that he, with a bit of luck in running, I guess that might be the problem from stall 20, mightn't it? If they all
that's it,
concertina. Never had a ride on the Rolling Mile?
No, I haven't, no.
You'd have been fine on the ups and downs there, but
Yeah,
up your street
definitely.
it did, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
What would you have sung going into that? Robbie's looking at us going, I'm a bit too young for that. Yeah.
No, I didn't get the reference.
No, you won't
at all.
do.
I've never actually been to Newmarket. Nice.
Never ever.
Oh no, I went to the sales for some reason once because it was when I started out and they would just chuck me into like random, like throw me in the deep end, and they didn't really give me a remit. They just said just go up and like randomly talk to people and just get a feel for it. But
Did you get some quotes for us? Is that what you were doing?
honestly, I can say now because I've been here a while, I didn't speak to a single person all day.
You're established now. You just stood there like a rabbit in the headlights.
I look like
He's
the
been to De Niro.
I look like the biggest lurk going.
Oh yeah, that's the good bar there. Yeah.
I was
absolutely.
just absolutely milking the finance though because you know they offered that they're going to pay for food there, so
Well,
I have a couple of meals.
like
so.
you say, you're
I
established
didn't
now somehow,
contribute
but that can
much to
change.
the company though.
No? Well, it's a lovely place to go. Of course, we've got the July course as well coming in, but the Rolling Mile is absolutely superb. It's definitely one of my top 5 flat tracks in the country. Absolutely love it. Let's hope you do as well. And good luck wherever you're going in the 150. Marc, then, they are trying to get, and we said about small fields, no problems here. Look at these 21 sprinters. Absolutely love it. 50 grand on offer. Life is good.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, I expect absolute mayhem in running here. It's a bit late money for the bottom one, number 21, also Rapido. Johnny Pete takes the ride. That was around 80s, 90s into 50s where Roger fell. Obviously have to improve, but that one's been clipped in a few points there. But it looks like Jumbie and Blackrod are the most popular here. They're going to go off around 6-1 the pair.
In the Dave Armstrong colours, of course, the very famous Mabs cross colours, isn't it, Blackrod? You just sense that he could be a 4-year-old that might be ending up in better company later on. As Jad's another one. James Horton's hit the ground running, isn't he? Really good for John Dance and Jess Dance up there, the ex-Sir Michael Stout assistant. He had that treble, of course, on his Red Cars. He's just absolutely on fire. First folio, spoke to James Ferguson yesterday, expects him to be taking him Royal Ascot. Good luck then, they're all in. Let's have some fun this afternoon, and away we shortly go. Like I said, good luck. Fast and furious, this will be carnage in running, says Marc. We'll go to him halfway. Something's absolutely fallen out.
Two missed the break.
It's not strike
I
red, is
can't
it?
see
Tell me that's not
who
strike. I think
they
one
are.
of them was strike red.
Final song, I think.
Was it?
Final song, yeah, way
Yeah.
out the back.
Oh, yeah, but I don't think ours was that well away either, actually, Batch. OK, but first folio on this night.
Going
Near
over
side
already,
is
isn't it?
thankfully giving him a good run. Jumbie well fancied right out the back. Black Rod on the far side. One thing to say is they don't want to know the near side rail. How much will that impact Native Trial in the biggie? 15, of course, right on the stand side. Stalls in the centre, but they usually make a beeline. At the moment, up front, then the lovable Just Another Bottle for Kevin and Adam Ryan. Really showing them a clean pair of heels at the moment. Look at first folio. He's absolutely cruising, isn't it? Strike red has switched to the ins to the middle, but that start cannot help. Ratia,
Yeah,
are you
trouble-
getting excited?
I don't really do excitement in races, but
This is cruising.
yeah, I know, but why is he not? Oh, there we go.
There you go. You've
Come on,
finally
Dave,
been
give it
switched.
a chance.
Come
Well,
on.
all right, at the
No, he's not
moment,
picking up,
you
though, is he?
cannot make up
No,
ground on this course. It's very, very difficult. Just another bottle. Black Rod looks like he's
Just
going to come and
get
get
in
him,
the
though, doesn't he?
six, mate.
Apollo 1 there as well. Above, look at Marc Hryhorskyj. Absolutely flying.
He's
But
unlucky,
it's
isn't
Black
he?
Rod. Oh, he's going to. Oh, he was unlucky, Marc. Hard luck. We'll pick the bones out of that. Chairman of the board was third, and Just Another Bottle in fourth. Missed the break, Batch.
Yeah, his race was over from the start, Dave. I think he just.
There
What
you
was
go.
second there above? Did they above?
It was Marc Hryhorskyj. Great
Yeah,
shout.
good
What,
shout.
what happened in running, Marc? You were looking more than looking. He's a little bit. Look, he's hit the
Yeah.
crossbar. The drone pilot is making sure that they've all landed all right,
I'm
and
just,
now
I'm
he's going to
just
give us an
trying to see
analysis.
if we managed to maybe nick 6. I think we've just got 6
joking?
Looks like
on Ratia.
No,
Yeah, I
we
think
haven't,
he's
have
just
we?
got up. Yeah, I think he just got up on the line. But yeah, I
What,
think
Ratia?
Black
That-
Rod-
Do you know what? That really rubs salt in the wounds because I had a bet on him on the exchange to win and 5 places. I can't. Betfair, you guys don't let me bet on sportsbook anymore.
Well, you should have gone. Well, I suppose that's because you are an annoying bloke, not because you're successful.
Oi.
You should have done it on the exchange.
That counts in profit, mate. Right?
You should have done it on the exchange.
I did, but they're only offering 5 place markets. So I was like, oh, go on, I'll take a bit of that. It's a bit worse than 6, isn't it?
That makes me feel a bit better about us falling out of the traps, Batch. I'm looking for some eye catchers, Mark. You said he was unlucky. I mean, Blackrock got the perfect run through, didn't he?
Yeah. I mean, I think just another ball. I mean, that's when odds on 1.81 for £81 and running. Was quite handy. I think Kevin Stock gave that one every chance, but again, probably just a little bit high in the weights. Looking at above as well. That one's went as low. That one's went as low as 5-2 in running, 3.45 for £16. Didn't ever think he was going to get there, but ran a good race. BSP 36.5, so there was late money. That was around a 50 poke about 5 minutes before the show. But good performance by the winner. Black Rod returned 8-7-1.
Yeah, this is a horse. I think. I mean, he goes on softer ground as well. He's got form at York. This is a horse that they will probably be looking to get into some group races later on. I think he's actually out of a 1 mile winner, but he's Mason, and he's a strong finishing 6 furlong horse. Michael Dodds, Mabs cross colours, lot to like there. Up the middle then, Batch as well.
Yeah, but to be honest, I don't think there's any bias, to be honest.
Oh, we fell out. I can't watch that again. We're just watching the replay again. Strike red in the good old
We've lost about 8 lengths at the start.
The day can only improve.
Hope so.
Yeah,
let's hope so, mate.
Yeah. Okay, all right. I'm looking for Mabs Cross. I'm looking for Black Rod. He has. This is what you want in a sprint, guys, isn't it?
Yeah.
You get the front running, just another bottle. He latched onto it, and it's just
in the slipstream, isn't he? Is that him in the slipstream, Dave?
Yeah, the slipstream.
The slipstream.
I love it. I'm looking for above. Who Mark?
He's behind Black Rod, and niggling.
Marco Gianni from 11. He's just
niggling.
What went wrong, Mark?
I just think maybe the winner is just too good on the day. I don't think there's anything wrong with the ride. Yeah, happy with the ride.
You called him unlucky, of course, Mark. That is a proper pocket-talking punter now.
I was more talking about the other one.
Ross here, just took ages to get out.
Yeah.
Was he?
He didn't. When he got out though, there wasn't much there though.
That's what I think. I don't think there's anything wrong with the ride there at all. Who was on him? Probably Sean Levy, was it? I imagine. Yes, it was Dane O'Neill, of course. It's the Julie Camacho colours, isn't it? I'm thinking it was Hammond. Chairman of the Board's run really well there. He's quite an infuriating horse, Chairman of the Board. I take him out of it because he definitely wants softer ground. First Folio's run particularly well, considering he was up there, first run of the season. That should put him spot on for some later targets. Frizzy Red says, Dave, winner by Mason. Don't usually associate his progeny on quick ground. That's correct. We only remember the old fibre sand Frizzy and all that sort of thing. Great records there with a deeper surface. This is a horse that's going to have no problems later on when it rains, which is surely coming at some point, the rain, isn't it?
Doesn't look in the foreseeable future, not Dave, no.
It's remarkable, isn't it?
Yeah, very dry, yeah.
Very dry. You know what's going to happen.
Not even that hot outside though.
No. It's hot in here today.
Actually, it's quite hot today, but the previous days this week, you've been having to wear a jacket and a hoodie.
Yeah, but it's balmy out there at the moment, isn't it? Absolutely balmy. You know what's going to happen? Like last year. Do you remember on the Friday of Royal Ascot last year? It was we nearly didn't run because of the rain.
Yeah.
It's going to be. It's just, all full crowds back, and the top hats are going to be getting wet.
I know Above's run over 7 day, but surely now he's crying out for that.
That looked like it, didn't it?
Yeah, he was early doors. He was nugging along, and he's just made endless ground at the end.
Rock solid form. I mean, just another bottle was one of those handicaps. I think Mark's looked at the top. Probably was looking on 101. He's going to want to come down a bit. The handicapper ain't going to give him any slack after that. But as an 8-year-old, it's going to be another big payday for him somewhere on the line. Will it be the Great St Wilfrid later on, which was a great call from Barry, or last year at Ripon? Right, Newmarket underway, all done. Dan Walsh was in my ear then. Here we are. It is the money back offer, of course. There's a free bet if your horse fails to place. And it's coming up next in the Thirsk Hunt Cup at 2:05. We go up to Yorkshire. 2 races at Newmarket, both won by Yorkshire Yards. Of course, Richard Fahey and Michael Dodds as well. And who's going to take this out? I remember, Mark, Barry sat in your chair, well, not your exact chair, but on the screen in Dublin, and Astro King, he put up in this race, was one of the eye catchers of the entire season. He returns for another go. He's got a better draw, but is he too high in the weights?
Yeah, potentially. Obviously, the Sir Michael Stout Yard's obviously in form. Obviously, got a 217-day layoff. I like Mark Crean. I think he's value for the £3, but again, got to carry a big weight here. I'm pretty keen on an outsider here for Tim Easterby. It's Snash. It's currently a 60 poke on the Betfair Exchange right now, so we'll take advantage of the money back special first. We'll have a £10 win on its 60s. If you can do the honours, please, Robbie.
Sorry, I was a million miles away there, mate. What, Snash?
Snash, 60 to
Yeah.
1. You have a £10 win. Take advantage of the money back
certainly,
special.
Massive price, this.
£10
So, if anyone is playing Sportsbook Exchange, it's only the first bet that counts. So we'll have a £10 win. So we'll get this back. Put it on the exchange, please. That's okay,
yeah.
Robbie?
Haha. Yeah, there's always prudence to win bets on the exchange before the off. Where is he?
Right at the bottom, number 460s.
Oh, come on. There he is. £10.
Yeah, we'll have a £10 win at 60s.
Yes,
I
we
can
will.
assure you Robbie is actually a professional.
Yeah.
What have I done here? Right, click.
Well, the
Yes.
great thing about this is
We're
that
on.
this is how the viewers actually learn when people make
Can you
mistakes.
stick another tenner on for me as well, and then
Yeah.
we'll have
Ooh,
actually have another tenner on. Then we'll have 40 in the 5 place market.
another
eight-
10 on Snash, yeah?
Yeah, 60s. Yeah.
Cool. Oh, we've got 65 now, mate.
Yep. And then we'll have 40 on the 5 place market at 6.4 around 11 to 2.
All right.
Yeah.
Placing a lot of eggs in the Snash basket is Marc Hryhorskyj.
Yeah, I think this is
So,
going to run a huge race. Big eye catcher for
What's
me.
the stake there, Mark?
£40 in the
40.
5 place
Yeah,
market,
gotcha.
6.2, 6.4.
5 to be placed.
Big eye catcher for me last time out. Dave
I'm
dropped £3 for that run at Haydock. I think he's going to run a massive
We have
race.
been matched.
It's on.
It's
Nice.
on.
Thank you.
Got there in the end post, man. You're supposed to deliver, so come on, get with the game, all
Deliver
right?
more often, don't I? I keep
need
putting
to-
up non-runners in that newsletter.
We need to get
Sorry
you-
to people who backed the Devil's Coachman at Punchtown this week. Didn't run. So many non-runners lately, mate. But that's the game we're in.
It is the game. We're going to talk a bit about Punchtown a little bit later on as well. It's been a very interesting week there. I think we can say that. Mullins more dominance than ever, wrote David Jennings yesterday. Very possibly. He's at it again, isn't he? Gordon Elliott, of course, won the first 3 races. We are still jumping in on. It's not the end of their season yet. Allaho, what did you make of that? Again, let us know. Let's hear it. Honeysuckle yesterday? Not for everyone, was it? But 16 in a row. Magnificent achievement for the top mare. OK, so Snash. I'm going to be honest, it caught my eye as well, Marc Hryhorskyj, and I wondered whether today might not be the day. But he is a horse that I am very much going to keep on my eyes. The fact that you said it was a big eye catcher, you looked a little bit closer than I did. But Jack Garrity on from stall 12. 7 furlongs around Thirsk. Sharp bend, down they come, and then they sort of meet a rising finish. The outside stalls have won this race before. This was a strong form race last year. Mick Shannon, who runs Trey Fleur, won it last year with Storting, who beat Astro King. And you think he'll have the double?
I reckon, yeah. Try floor for me.
Case made, please.
Again, I'm not overly strong on this race, but this horse is just so well handicapped, isn't he? I mean, you go back to some of his... He's got Group 1 form for Andre Fabre a few years ago.
Well, that was a
And
few
he's got-
years ago.
It was a few years ago, but he ran some good races off much higher marks last season without winning.
He ran really well at Sandown from memory.
Yeah, he did, yeah. He is very well handicapped, and I thought it was the seasonal term was there was enough encouragement. He's been dropped another pound again.
Who rides?
So,
SDS.
Yeah, Sylvester de Souza, who is a decent bet to be champion jockey. I've been saying for a while, haven't I? I said it on
Interesting
live
shout.
here about a month
Did
ago.
you? You're sticking
Yeah.
to your convictions there.
Yeah, he's just going to be... He's after it.
hungry.
He's after it this season. Yeah, he's got a new lease of life.
A little bit like Brian Hughes, remarkable achievement for Brian, wasn't it? 200 winners.
Yeah.
I guess you want to be sometimes looking away, like SDS will be. You know, Ascot's almost a track that's like a red herring for him, isn't it? You know, it's,
And you know Buick is going to be going to all those big meets, although he's got unbelievable ammunition. I'm not saying he's going to beat Buick, but I'm saying that 33 to 1 is a
towards the
good
back
price.
end of the season, the Godolphin boys, the jocks, they can often get taken to America. They can
It's
go.
true.
They can go all over
Yeah.
the place. You know.
Yeah.
But we imagine that James Dodd. One thing that William wants this year is
Yeah,
is
he's keen to get a monkey off his back, isn't he?
correct, and I think James will be doing a lot of travelling. Let's put it that way,
Yeah.
to Doyle. So
Good for
that
him,
knows
though,
how
isn't
it is. But SDS going away, it's the northern support, isn't it?
That's it, and you say it's sometimes to win titles you need quantity rather than quality, and exactly what Brian Hughes done. He missed. I don't think he had many rides at the festival. He went elsewhere. And it's paid
0,
dividends,
yeah.
because there's not many that ride 200 winners in a season.
Didn't he only have
four
about
different
one
jobs.
Grade 2 winner in the entire season, didn't he?
Yeah.
Well, but there we are. Look, he just went out and like
Yeah.
Donald McCain, if it had been settled on wins, he had a fantastic season as well.
Yeah.
We wrote a lot about that, obviously, but it was quiet until about November, wasn't it? But anyway, let's get back to Thirsk. So Trey Fleur, SDS, Mick Shannon to get the successive wins. Snash for... it's quite fun to say that, actually. Snash. I'm looking forward to saying
Onomatopoeia.
that. Pardon?
It's onomatopoeia.
Is it?
Well, I thought it's like crash or bang.
You've got to be quite careful when you say it, I think. But it came from Charlie Hills, this horse, and it's probably one that Tim ECB is going to get right. I took a bit of a flyer in this. Mattie Batch, did you?
I looked at Empire State of Mind, caution distant winner, 3 wins from 10 last year, and goes as form on most ground.
Yeah.
But I sided with Cruyff Turn,
The
pure
other
and
needs to be
simply because I
yours,
try one every time I play football to no prevail, so I'm hoping Cruyff Turn.
What position did you play?
Unlike Rob,
Fullback.
Fullback, yeah.
I was a fullback, so left back.
Left back or right back, yeah.
You left-footed.
Right, ambidextrous.
I'm the same. That's normally an indicator that you're not a good footballer.
Oh, exactly right, exactly right.
The thirsty bear afterwards.
Exactly
I've still got to
right.
get a tip in.
Yeah.
I looked at Cruyff Turn as well, but I wonder whether he was a bit too high in the handicap. Maybe York coming up later in the month, maybe for him. That's how I saw it. I took a flyer on Dubai Love, the Godolphin horse here. Said Bin Sarur, hit the ground running. Late start for him as usual. Dougie Costello on. Drawn in 6. Class angle in this. First time cheap pieces on. She was placed in a Sandringham and races like that a little while ago. It's Maidan form really, but he won this with far. Going back to 2011, his previous run in the race, he's got a great record, 25% strike rate at Thirsk. So it's the boys in blue for me.
How's Dougie doing on the flat, Dave? I don't
Yeah,
really,
fine.
He's,
Yeah, good.
getting
Very
plenty,
good. Yeah. Very good. Carl Burke gives him a lot of good support, and the fact he's riding for Godolphin tells the tale, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Of course, another jump jockey, like amongst many that have made the transition over. All right, Pisanello is an interesting horse for David O'Mara. David O'Mara's got a rotten record in this race, but I guess, Marc, as the last couple go in, that one's been the Gamble, the Beverley winner.
Yeah, it seems there's quite a few market movers here for Scott Dixon, number 15, Mykonos St John. And that's currently at 30s, but 28s on the Betfair Exchange. Been late money for that one. And on a session, that one's been quite popular as well. Graham Lee takes a ride. That's 11-1. Traz Floir is around 8-1 on the Betfair Exchange. I think that was a good run last time out and dropped another £1. He's got every chance. But Astro King, I don't know if the backers or layers can make their mind up here. He's currently 9-2. It's probably one I'd be looking
Marc,
to take on.
They are off. Thank you very much. And they've burst the scene on a session. I thought that might have been your tip, Wilders, after last night.
Well, I do like sessions, yeah. Also, Mykonos St John, because I'm going on holiday there this summer.
Oh, OK, fair enough. I mean, that's a ridiculous reason to put a horse up. All right, OK, but you are, Trey Fleur, you're out the back. Along with Astro King, who wasn't that well away. The old favourite Radana wasn't great as well, right out the back. Already up against it, Paul Moran and Diane Sayer. Looking for Snash. This is, I can't even say it, Snash is on the outside. Yeah, and again, just wants to get in now. This is where you want to be. Leading at the moment, though, on its debut for Megan Nichols in a share of the lead with Cruyff Turn on Star Sheba. Jean-Baptiste got a nice pull there on a session going well. Now all of a sudden starting to get into it is, of course, Astro King, an unlucky second in the race last year. I'm up there with Dubai Love. We're all there, Empire State of Mind. What's catching your eye, boys?
Cruyff Turn's travelling all right.
Cruyff Turn is absolutely cruising, but has he done too much too soon? Lion Tower was backed as well for Grant Ture and Sam James. What else is there? Looking for these green colours coming on the outside.
Fleur's travelling.
That's Copper and Five for Ruth Carr, another trainer with a good record. Well, Dubai Love is going to have to get a run. If she gets it, she's going to go soon. I'll tell you what,
Jack,
she might just get it.
Jack.
Look at Snash. Hang on a minute. Snash,
Try Fleur just not getting a run, mate.
Come on, Cruyff.
On the outside. I don't know what Marc's looking at. I think mine's going to get it, isn't it? Dubai Love. Come on, Dougie. Get your Shillelagh out, my old son. Astro King once again finishing too late. Cruyff turned on the outside. Down on the end. Look at Radana. Could this be last to first for Paul Moran? It fell out of the gates, but it's coming over on top. An absolute wipeout in a very close finish there. Dubai Love, you can see why they put the cheap pieces on. Ran a blinder, but every chance didn't really fancy it. Marc Hryhorskyj, you got very animated there, Marc.
Yeah, that's the winner's actually shortened me up there, the furlong pole, but well on top at the finish for Dana. It'd be interesting to see what price Snash has actually went in running there. Only went as low as 42-1 in running, but did come for a challenge. I think that one ran quite well. Might even appreciate the step up and trip, but again, it looks like it was a bit of a crazy race in running.
He got murdered, Snash.
Did it?
Furlong and a half out. Yeah, he was sandwiched between two horses. He had to hike up with it.
Snash.
Yeah, I thought I had a chance. Big eye catcher. But he'll definitely not be that price next time out anyway.
All right, look at the Betfair SP there. Oof, that is
82s.
the rotter of the lot, as they say,
Should've
don't
just
they?
backed
The
Mick
rag.
off.
And it absolutely fell out of the boxes. No great record fresh. Widest of all. That's the third time in the last 10 years that the widest stall has won that race. And it's the Thirsk Hunt Cup here. This is on the trail then for the big mile handicaps. You're looking, of course, at Royal Ascot for the Royal Hunt Cup. You're looking at Cambridgeshire later on, aren't you? There's a lovely narrative that goes through the Balmoral. This chap has been around the houses. He's an 8-year-old. Absolutely delighted. Wasn't that cool as cucumber ride, Robbie, as well?
Yeah, it
wasn't
was. Do you reckon they went quick there?
Must have done.
Yeah. I mean, well, if they haven't, then my word.
Well,
That's a horse to
that was
keep
his
on side.
44th start for a 13th win.
They must have gone quick.
not bad record.
Griff
Must have
Turn
done.
dropped away at the end.
When Marc was screaming at the
Tries
telly, I
floor
was
was
thinking, what's
unlucky,
going on?
I have to say. Never got a run.
Snash.
Yeah, got murdered at the furlong pole
Yeah,
by
did,
the
yeah.
eventual winner.
Yeah.
That is above he's put up in the first. That's gone very close after not getting the absolute best run. Although Black Rod, we said probably was the right winner. And Snash, which I'm going to keep
Man to
saying, I
listen
think,
to.
as the weekend progresses.
Did he get a place by any chance, or did he just finish out the places?
Oh, I
Who's
don't
Nash?
know.
I think he was just
Seven.
outside.
I'll get the
a
result up
shame.
very shortly for us. But all right, okay, we've got to sort of move on because we've got a really good handicap coming up. Well, actually, 15 minutes time. We don't. You can already see the spotlight verdict up for Peter Chapel-Hyam's Fast Medicine there. Who had that then? Cruyff Turn. Good run, I think. He
Yeah.
did far too much too
Just
soon
too
for
much
me.
too early, I think. And
He's
yeah.
at your course.
Yeah. He just sort of the old petrol gauge. went
Dante
into it.
meeting?
Dante meeting.
That's coming up very shortly. We've got Chester next week, of course. Victoria Cup at Ascot this time next week. Some Derby trials as well. It's all happening, isn't it, out there? How are we getting on this afternoon here on RP Live? Delighted to have you along with us. Dave Orton, Mattie Batchelor, Robbie Wilders and Marc Hryhorskyj from Betfair along the way, up until the Guineas at 3:40. The 2000 it is. Both races, Rob, look right up to scratch to my eyes.
Yeah, good. Yeah. Well,
Have you done the previews for these or anything in
Nah.
the paper? No, it wasn't on your remit.
They're not. No, thank God. I was in love with those two.
Mel Rose did the Guineas, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Don't know how he churned out 1,000 words. That was impressive.
He can do it
Close
literally by
machine.
blinking.
G-Rod's a machine as well.
Yeah,
I was telling him that last night, chewing his ear off, saying, "You're so efficient and all this."
he's back. now that you're under his wing, of
No,
course.
he's my line manager. Yeah.
I know, what
So I've got
a
a sweet-
vision.
That's a good line manager, mate. He's a chilled out operator. That bloke.
Yeah, he's a top banana. He was supposed to go into Newmarket today, but the traffic around Chelmsford is why he had to turn round. So he's got his feet up. He's probably watching actually at the moment. G-Rod joins us back tomorrow for the 1,000 Guineas, which is a really good race. 1, 2, 3 in the Guineas. Let's have them out there. The boys are building them out there. I know that Mally and Neil Francis, a couple of others. Devo's done one as well. So get them in because we're going to go through them. We're going to see if we can get the trifecta up. Easy done, isn't it? In the Classic. Let's get a social up. Devo. All over moving time. Yes, 2:25 coming up, especially with Jockey for the future claiming 7. Let's move on then. Back to Newmarket we go. We've already had 2 sprint races, 1 here on RP Live. I'm going to get the times up for you in a minute. This is one of my favourite handicaps of the flat.
Why's that, mate?
I think I've got
do
quite
you
a good
like the
record on
9
it.
furlong trip, do you? 'Cause don't get many over that trip.
Well, like 7 furlongs over here. They're sort of specialist, isn't it? It's the Cambridgeshire trip pretty much, isn't it?
No, very much. Yeah,
course
it
and
is, yeah.
distance.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Bell Rock last year was a horse that did me a right favour, and I think I've usually got quite a good record in it. The excellent Kevin Morley in the Trends column. Kev's on holiday at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah,
But
he is.
You've been
He can't come back quick enough.
You've been doing ghost columning, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been doing that. Yeah.
How's it gone?
Nothing untoward.
Any
I don't know. I don't often agree with Kev.
Any winners at
I don't often
Punchestown?
agree with Kev, to be honest.
Don't you? Why? Because you look
Well,
away
I
from
feel
the
like
trends.
he's kind of constrained to what he has to tip a lot.
Well, that's
of
the whole
doesn't
point of it.
Yeah, I know, but I'd rather have my own opinions than just blindly go off what happens.
He's got a really good record, Kev, as I call him the excellent Kevin Morley for good reason.
Where'd he go on holiday? Do you know?
Well, I don't know actually, but I know that he went on holiday because last week he sent about a month's worth
Yeah,
of
he
trends,
did,
didn't he?
didn't he?
So I'm not surprised at your ghost
Hogging
column.
up the emails.
I had this down to 3, looking at the
Yeah.
excellent Kevin Morley's trends, and it's nap time for me here. But let's go to Marc Hryhorskyj first, and we'll get the market up for the Suffolk. Ooh, 2 crossbars, Marc. 3rd time lucky?
Yeah, I think we just missed the place in there at Thirsk, but we're gonna showcase the Betfair Exchange capabilities here. We're gonna do a back to lay here, Robbie. We're gonna go for Cape Francis. We'll have 50 on the nose at 42s, and then we'll lay this one off at 18.5 for a £100 stake to create a green book. all round. I think this one, obviously coming down in the weights, formerly trained by Ed Walker, spent some time out in Maidan, running in good races. I think he's a better horse on the turf, down a mark in 93, and the last winning mark's 95. James Doyle booked. I think this one could run on. So we've got 50 on at 42s, and I want to lay this one at 18.5 in running.
All right, mate. How do I set that up?
So if you just click on the lay button, so try and change it to 18.5.
Ah, yeah, of course. Yeah.
And put £100 stake in and just save it, and we'll try and get matched in running. So £50 profit if we get matched on any other horse, and if it wins, we get a £300 profit on the outsider. I just think he could run on here, and he could shorten. He's traded shorter than he's on the BSP the last 5 runs, so hopefully we can get a green book here, showcase the Betfair Exchange capabilities.
Thanks, Mark. Never thought I'd say this, but you would be
I feel
Barry
like
Orr's dream.
I'm winding you up a bit here, aren't I?
You would know.
Just
Honestly,
being so slow.
well, you're a bit snail-like today. You promised me that you would be on your best behaviour because you felt like you needed to up your game because you've been on a session.
but not in that
like
kind of
David
way.
Barron's place getter.
I was just thinking more entertaining.
Yeah, don't know about
Just
that. We
let me
usually
know if
rely
I
on
am winding you
Batchelor,
up,
but
mate.
Batch is sitting there like a tennis net at the moment going, what is going on? Never worked with the anti-postman before. But Barry would love you because when Nat and Charlie Post have sat on that machine on regulars and honestly gone, I'm not really sure what we're doing, Kate Tracy the same. Yeah. They all learn, but as you are doing it, people are learning the mechanics as well. Loads of people want to get stopped. You know, I went to Ascot on Wednesday, a few people saying to me, genuinely learn when I watched the race.
I honestly, I should know that as a punter. I didn't know you could do that. But I'm not an in-running punter. But that's quite an interesting
Why aren't you an
tool.
in-running punter? Too emotional
Because
like me?
I like to just watch the race.
Oh, right, okay.
Instead of watching watch the race, obviously. But I'd rather not watch the numbers. I'd rather watch what's happening. But I mean, I know Ross is quite into it, isn't he? Ross Bryden.
Massively, yeah.
He's all. I mean, I get it if you can find edges. I mean, there's certain horses like. I mean, you could say Native Trail. I mean, he hits his flat spots, doesn't he? I mean, that could be an angle later on to back him in running if he hits like I don't know. Maybe like 7-2 or something. You just don't know, but I get it for sure.
Okay, all right. And was it Mattie that came on and asked about moving time? I can't remember now. I meant to give that reference. Let's talk about him because he's very popular out there, isn't he? Moving time. It was a horse that I like a lot, and if it wasn't for Harry Davis's claim, I would think he might be on the periphery of his handicap mark against some very interesting horses. I think he'll go well. Keels has put him up today, as has Tom Siegel as well. Harry Davis, you're right. Surely only a matter of time before that £5 claim, £7 claim becomes 5, 3, and then nil by the end of the season. Like Benoit de la Sayette, they are both young jockeys, and he rode his first winner, of course, at the track yesterday, our local lad Harry Davis, for Roger Varian, who also had a marvellous time there. I just think there is a fly in the ointment for them all here in Derby.
Oh, me and you both, mate.
That's a worry, isn't it?
Please.
That's a worry. My case being that this ticks a lot of boxes. Do you know that all 10 of the last winners of this race had previously run at the track? The experience of the dip has proved essential to winning this race. Derby, Moving Time being the runners out there, Lucanda being the other one. Forest Falcon has had a run as well. Cap Francais, the outsider that Marc has had a look at for Ian Williams, who should have probably won the Cigaro Stakes, shouldn't he, on Enemy, of course, in the week. Ian's on good form at the moment. He is a right monkey.
He's talked about as a Derby horse, wasn't he? I think he ran in the Derby trial at Epsom.
Ed Walker.
Yeah.
In the old Jeff Ragg colours. Oh, man. And he's been around the houses. He has done my head. He's very, very keen also, I think. But it'll be interesting to see what Ian Williams can get out of him this week. And so I had it down to 3. I had Lucanda, who's got form in Cambridgeshire's over this course and distance. Deserves a win, but we know about him now, the 5-year-old, 97. I had it down to Forest Falcon as well. This is the sort of race that Charlie and Mark Johnson win. But Derby is the potential group horse. Of course, we last saw him as a 2-year-old running in the Autumn Stakes behind One Ruler. That'll do for me.
What
Robbie.
race is he entered in at Royal Ascot?
The Hardwick.
Exactly. And what does that tell you? It tells you might be well handicapped off 103.
Is any trainer doing better at the moment than Charlie Appleby anywhere in the world?
That's amazing. Every time I turn the telly on and the races and everything like that, he's just having winner after winner.
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah, unnearly.
We see your beer yesterday get turned over.
Not seen as many from Saeed Bin Saror, though.
Well, he nearly won the Thirsk Cup.
True.
Yeah. Nearly.
Yeah, I mean, and you've seen this horse's pedigree as well. He's a half-brother to Golden Horn, no less. Derby winner, yeah.
Yeah, lovely. So look, this classy handicap. I keep thinking my camera's there. I must remember you're there. But let's hear from you. What wins this race then? Let's get a social up. Oh, Mattie, there we go. Ooh, an early 1, 2, 3 for the Guineas from Mattie. Manny Draycott says Native Trail on top, Luxembourg, and going for the Dewhurst form there, Mally, with the Barwi legend, who Hugo Palmer, you know, sometimes we do the quotes in the paper. Hugo Palmer's got like his own page on the Barwi legend.
What was the crux of what you were saying?
It basically, they think he's going to go really well.
Yeah.
Big
one for Michael Owen, potentially.
Well, and Michael Owen's been, seen a lot, hasn't he? With the new team, of course. Chester coming up in the week. It's massive, massive time for them. Very interesting, Mally. The first Guineas 1, 2, 3 out there that we wanted to see. Batch.
I have picked Moving Time. I did like Lacanda, runs well fresh, but I think Moving Time, just as you say, you highlighted on course form and getting to know that dip as well. People don't really realise it until you sort of watch the head-on the TV. It does, horses go down, they change the legs, and they need to change their legs quick enough again to meet the rising ground. And that's what I think Native Trial does so well. We'll see it later on. When he meets the rising ground, the turbo kicks in.
Not Native River. Native Trial, of course. Interesting. You're saying that he's 2 from 2 Native Trial, isn't he?
Yes.
At the track. So we'll talk about that after the 3 o'clock, the Palace House. I'm not convinced it's his track batch, but
really,
well, he's 2 from 2 there, and he's imperious, isn't he? But I think when he gets on a flat track, I think the Jub Monty and races like that are his for the taking.
I just think he's adapted to that. Good horses will adapt to wherever they go.
Yes.
And I've watched his run, and as you said, in running, you think he's struggling.
Yeah.
But if you watch his stride pattern, he come down a bit, and then as he meets the rising ground, he sort of changes his leg, and then it just goes in. He looks the real deal after that. From struggle, a bit like what's the 2-miler chaser. Altior always looked in trouble, but then found the gear. Yeah. He reminds me a bit like him on the flat. You think you're in trouble, and then turbo kicks in. Once he's changed that leg, hit the rising ground, he's gone.
Only you could have compared a Guineas winner to Altior. But there you are. Great to hear from the horseman in the party there. So what do you think?
It's better comparing a Guineas runner to a Gold Cup horse, isn't it?
Absolutely. That has happened. Easy done. Easy done, by the way. Right, to Barbie, I'm being told by Dan Walsh in my... It looked a bit awkward going to the start. Hang on, Dan, do me a lemon out there. I didn't want to hear that. He's got the red hood on. Red hoods, just they have bats, don't they? So the crowd can see him, so everyone can see it. But it's to calm them going down to the start. They get rid of them.
That's it. They've got a lot of protection in the ears just so they can muffles out the sound, and then when you get down to the start you take it off. And I'm surprised, we'll talk about it later on, I'm surprised they haven't tried that with Perfect Power, but it might be an option they could go for later.
He's a big price in the Guineas as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
And I was with Matt Gardner, our handicapper, yesterday doing a preview show, and he put him up. Matt will be rejoicing at the fact he's out to 20. He's the Greenham winner. Let's go back to Marc Hryhorskyj, bring you in, Marc, because Notre Belle bet. That looks like the gamble of the race to me as the Barbie does indeed drift out a little.
Yeah, it's quite a lot of late money for Andrew Baldwin's runner here at Notre Belle Bert. David probably takes the rise nearly 4-1. The Abbey's on the drift, out to around 9-2. Moving Times hasn't really moved, around 7-1. Obviously has that long layoff in the gelding operation. Booking a Harry Davis is obviously a positive, has a chance. Bit of late money for Ian Williams runner Cape Francis. We're on at 40s, it's about 29s right now on the exchange. Forest Falcon's quite strong, around 9-1 as well, but looks pretty wide open. I mean, Notre Belle's went clear favourite there, 4.8. They could easily go for around 7-2, 3-1. The Abbey's weak, and so is Fast Medicine. But we'll see how this one goes. Hopefully we can get matched on Cape Francis, get a nice trade, make some profit.
Thanks, Mark. Yeah, Fast Medicine, you can see the spotlight verdict, that free premium content that we're giving you.
He's drifted a lot, hasn't he?
Yeah, stinks.
Yep.
5-2 I saw in the week when this market opened up.
He actually...
skinny.
He's run at the course, but he looked a bit awkward coming out the dip.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if he's good enough. This is 100. He's up against 100 horses.
I thought that Nottingham race was quite good that he won last time, though.
He cost a lot of money from memory. Did Fast Medicine?
He's definitely.
He did 200 grand.
I'd be tempted at 13-2.
Because it looks like a silly sort of price, doesn't it?
Yeah,
but you have to remember that Peter
always back your drifters.
Peter was a former classic trainer. When I first got into racing, he was a bit of a mythical man, Peter Chappell, because he went off to Hong Kong. It didn't work out for him there, but do you remember?
Yeah. He came back and sort of tried to relaunch his career.
Yeah, not easy to do, but he used to have some of the very best horses. Okay.
A lot of late money here, Dave, for Cape Francis in the 22s now.
I was going to say, mate, being offered a cool £31 profit. So.
Might get you to cancel the in-running lane. We'll just let it run. We'll keep it for in-running. We'll let it run.
Yeah, I was going to say, we can just lay now for
Well, 2 minutes to go to the second race that we're bringing you here on RP Live this afternoon. Of course, building up to the 340. We go to Goodwood after this for the 240, a listed race. Spoke to one of the jockeys that rides in that who strongly fancies his chances. We'll be getting to that very shortly indeed. And we've got the Palace House. We'll be setting the narrative for the sprinters. We've had a sprint handicap. Quick word on Black Rod, if you don't mind. Emma Armstrong, joint owner. Not sure it's daughter of Dave or wife. Apologies for that. But I looked after him all winter. I'm looking at you, Frizzy Red, when I say this out there, who gave us a word in about this. I mothered him well. I'm sure they'll be aiming high with him after this. Michael Dodson, David, the owner. I'm just going where I'm told, she says. It's a mythical tag of Masons that they need cut in the ground, Frizzy. That's why I'm saying it was certainly quick enough out there today. We breed them well up north, says Emma. Great quotes coming my way from Peter Scargill there today, one of our top reporters out there. Also, Richard Fahy on Kultham, who won the first. She had a small problem with her knee, but she's over that now. They're going to aim high, probably the Windsor Forest for her, maybe even the at the Commonwealth Cup as well. So good luck there. She's top filly, isn't she? So it's pretty quick out there. Have we a new favourite, Marc Hryhorskyj?
Yeah, the money, they keep queuing up to back this Notre Bell bet. I mean, it's 7-2 now. Dabby's on the drift out to 5s. Fast Medicine out to 8-1 now. Bit of late money for Forest Falcon. That was 10s into around, 7-1 now. But the money seems to have dried up for Cape Francis. But yeah, it looks wide open here. But they don't want moving time in the Abbey late on. They want to be laying those ones in the win market.
Dan Walsh might have been onto something. Is the keep button on? This is what I'm being asked by the producers.
Oh, right.
Is the keep button on? Come on, get off your phone and punting.
So, oh yeah, keep.
I know this is a punting show, but come
Yeah,
on, you're trading today.
I just went and backed Fast Medicine.
Did you?
So it's kept.
Keep safe. Make sure it's saved and we're good to go.
There, we're in.
Lots of people on moving time out there. I can see really good interaction on the chats out there at the moment. Great stuff. Anything today each way I can see for Toon 2020. Oh, God, I'm reminding me of the Watford situation at the moment. Whenever I hear the word Toon out there. Watford Burnley today. I'm missing out that one. Happy days.
This is a problem at Newmarket, isn't it? The races never go off on time.
The lot's been said about this. Ascot in the week as well was a bit of a shocker as well. What is it?
Let's stick to the schedule, fellas, shall we?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's not helping, is it?
It tends to happen when horses aren't playing up as well.
Yeah, it's not
I
helping.
understand if
on a Saturday as well, when there's so many races going on, it's a big card there. Yeah, I agree. Something needs to be done about this. It's not cool.
Ooh.
Who was that?
Moving
time.
Fast
Harry
Medicine.
Davis got his hands
they're
full
in
there.
for the Suffolk Handicap over the course and distance of the Cambridgeshire, and away we go. And DeBarbie, man, that's what you would call slowly into stride, steadied by Will Buick out the back. He'll be hoping that Forest Falcon in the lead goes a little bit faster than he is at the moment.
Turntable's very key.
Turntable as well.
Francais is already close to 18.5.
We're watching this in running trade, of course, and Marc Hryhorskyj, who's properly hit the crossbar with his trade so far. Lucanda, nice and keen in second. The old boy absolutely loves the track. See, old boy's 5. Just seems like he's been around forever. Moving time. Now they're bunching up. Rob, what sort of pace are they going here? Funny pace?
Don't know that quick, does it?
38 miles an hour.
O'Fannon's setting the pace. He's 7-2 favourite in running here. He's setting the fractions perfectly and kicked from the front, I think.
No better man to set the fractions.
You would want to be getting involved, I think, if you're not already greening up on Forest Falcon, because this is what they do, isn't it?
Yeah.
They don't have to lead, says Mark Johnson, but then they kick on. And
Moving
hard
time,
to make
travelling
up ground
well.
here.
Really
Which
well.
one?
Moving times.
Moving time, that's it. DeBarbie out the back as well.
Niggling a bit as well, William.
DeBarbie, I'm not sure. Fast Medicine, the drifter. Anything today out there as well for the Toon. Now DeBarbie switches inside. He won't have that luxury later on, Will Buick, of course, because he's near the stand side. Turntable still going well. Notre Bell Bet, the gamble of the race. Getting
Come on,
the cover
Harry.
for last year's winner.
Oh, look at
Gawley.
moving times.
DeBarbie on the far side catching the eye. But
No,
as he left
look
it
at
too late.
moving times,
Look at
Dave.
moving
Come on,
time.
James.
Harry Davis on the near
Come on,
side.
Harry.
What about this Lucanda?
Come on,
Harry.
Look at Cap Francie on the far
Go on,
side.
Harry.
This is surely match. Don't tell me Marc Hryhorskyj's actually going to pull this off.
not
This is
about that.
ridiculous.
Come on, James.
The front runners are waiting. DeBarbie on the far side, not done with. Turntable on the near side. Moving time. Going to need this, I think, isn't it? They're all over the place.
Yeah.
Far side as well. Notre Bell Bet coming. Look at Turntable on the near side. Holly Doyle. Is Holly going to get one on
Come on,
Guinea?
James.
Cap
Keep it
Francie
going.
on the far
There we
side.
go.
It's going to be Marc Hryhorskyj. The drone pilot flies one home. Happy days. Third time lucky. Marc Hryhorskyj. It looked like Holly was going to come and get you. Compose yourself, man, and give us the story of the race.
I wish he didn't press that keep button there. It would have been absolutely laughing. £50 in the nose at 40s. But yeah, top ride by James Doyle there. Return 28s BSP. We'll take that. think the Abbey, the race was over after the stalls, went right out to 7-8 to 1.
Yeah.
But yeah, really happy with that. I expected a big run from Ian Williams runner there, and he's done it well. He's held on well. He had a late challenge from Holly Doyle from Turnable, but pretty comfortable final furlong. We'll take that.
Marc Hryhorskyj, you sneaky thing, coming back for the flat, kept him fresh. He's wintered well. Isn't it great to have Marc back on? That's second with a massive price in the first, mullered in the Thirsk Hunt Cup on Snash, and now Cap Francais. Weird race to look at, that batch.
It was, yeah. I think a lot of them will come on for the run, i.e. moving times, because he travelled really nicely into the race.
No cover.
No cover. Harry got into him. He put his head down, but again, I think the old petrol tank just went to empty.
I think we can say this is strong form, Robbie, can't we?
Yeah, very much so. What a shout that was! Oh my goodness, sour taste, because this is the problem when you back drifters. Fast Medicine has drifted from 5 to 2 out to 13 to 2, and I thought that's too big, but he's run accordingly, hasn't he?
Well, he's either found it coming too fast after his comeback win. The problem is when a horse reappears and then they win well, and the handicapper, puts a load of more weight on their back for the next one. The connections are forced into running soon. But when you have that first run back, that's when we call the dreaded bounce factor, isn't it? Because they need to get the hardened conditioning in. That's certainly for Fast Medicine.
Well, the Barbie might have been coming to win at one point.
Yes, he ran a funny race, didn't he?
He's going to get much further as well. I mean, being that
He
half.
spent most of his time making up a bit of ground, though, didn't he, to get back in the
Marc,
race.
how much
really.
did we win for the charity there for the retrading and racehorses on the final day of April?
We won 300 on the race. Could have been 2 bags, but we'll take the 300. Got a couple more races. See if we can get a 500 profit for the day. That should be the target. But happy with that. It's returned 22s. We backed it at 40s. It looks like a lot of people got on as well. So happy days.
That's great, isn't it? Happy days indeed. We'll clip that up, no doubt, and there'll be a lot of love for that on Twitter. Looking at the chat as well. Turntable Frizzy in red says was getting there with every single stride. That would definitely be one to take out of it. And this is interesting with the next race in mind, of course. Henry Candy.
Yeah, finishing fast there.
Any other eye catchers?
Just Lacando just got a little bit of bump in running. It just took him off his stride a little bit and had to sort of regather himself. And
yeah, Turntables hit 2s on for 230 quid, so they were quite confident in running there.
Holly,
never thought
it?
he was going to get there. Yeah, I think he was hanging towards the stand side rail. Looked quite a tricky ride, but definitely an eye catcher.
Let's have a look at the winner. Oh, man. Do you remember when this was a Derby candidate, as me and Robbie said earlier? He basically won at Haydock. He won 2 out of his first 3 starts, and he went into the winter. He was an eye catcher at Epsom in the classic trial there behind Cape of Good Hope. And then he ran in the Lingfield Derby trial when well fancied to beat Anthony Van Dyke, who went on to win the Derby that year. And afterwards, it all just went wrong. He became too keen. Ed Walker just couldn't get the best out of him. He did get a win at one point. At Haydock, as a 4-year-old Ed did, but they shipped him off, and Ian Williams, with these type of horses, dual purpose, he's up there with Gary, isn't he, as a proper dual purpose trainer?
Yeah, I just say him and Gary, they sort of, both codes, they're very good at their jobs and they know what they're doing, and just proves there to go on a Guineas day at Newmarket and to say Ian Williams can do the job as good as anyone.
Yeah, very much so. All right, we are, half an hour away then from the penultimate race of the day at Newmarket. That's the Palace House. The one interesting thing, Rob, they don't want to know the stands rail, do they, at all?
Yeah.
Why do you think that is? Because lots been said about the Golden Highway. You associate Golden Highway courses, right? Lingfield Turf Course is the mecca of Golden Highways, isn't it? But Newmarket,
you can't predict these things, can you? Like, you tie yourself in knots trying to do it.
Do you think
you
that
just wait until the first race?
Do you reckon they've tried to negate it?
Possibly.
Possibly. Interesting, isn't
What
it?
annoys me about Newmarket is they put the stalls in different positions like every year. They just go, we'll just put them in the centre this year. I'll put them stand side this year.
Well,
where's the consistency, fellas, yeah?
Caribus, of course, the Auto-Stakes winner, who a lot of people still fancy to beat stablemate Native Tron in the Biggie for Charlie Uppy. He's in stall 1. The last horse to win a Guineas from stall 1?
Who was it, man?
It wasn't the Richard Hannon thing, was it?
No, Night of Thunder. That was on the far side. He beat Kingman. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Kingman was on the far side, and so when they split
That's
into
what
2
people
groups.
said before the Derby. They were about a day odd, didn't they?
Adayar can't win from stall 1. It's the place to be.
Then he goes
now.
and wins by 5 lengths.
Yeah, well, you do, but it hadn't won for such a long time.
Yeah, it is true.
And stall 2's never ever won a Derby. Weirdly,
that's quite interesting. I mean,
that's very odd, isn't it? But look, we can get a little bit bogged down. But Caribus, it was Galileo Gold. Frankie Dettori got across the field when they came to the cut-off, which isn't there anymore. Chris Atkinson, good to have you with us, Chris. Says Native Trail Aiden, who Marc Hryhorskyj likes, and Perfect Power as well. Fav on top, Potential Fly, Roger Varian, won well, of course. Was it the Fielden Stakes he won?
Yes.
Won well there, didn't he, in those colours?
He did. I mean, he's come from... He's beaten 2 maidens as well. Like, he's obviously just improved so much as...
He said he was backwards at 2, Roger Varian. And he said, but he's working well. I saw his pre-interview for that race, and he hosed
sire. I don't know much about his sire.
Sire is?
Old Street.
Old Street was a Godolphin horse, wasn't it? I think it was.
My time.
I'm going to look into that.
But yeah, he's interesting, yeah.
And Perfect Power. Chris, we wish you luck. If he stays, he's got to go close, hasn't he? Whereas Neil Francis comes on, and not Luxembourg for him. Oh, no, Point Lonsdale, who, of course, he's expecting to relish the extra furlong, I'm imagining, Neil. Drawn more towards the stand side. Caribus in 1. And Native Trail only 3rd.
He is going to like that extra furlong Point Lonsdale. I mean, Australia doing that over 7.
And he looks a bit more... He's a Cheshire winner, isn't he? So surely he's going to relish a trip.
Yeah, he did much more than Broome did, his brother.
He was just no match for Native Trail, was he, when they met?
No. Native Trail was obviously more advanced, wasn't he?
Well, Native Trail's a beast, though, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Look, we're going to get into this. Is it the French Guineas tomorrow?
French Guineas? No, that's a couple of weeks.
When is that? You put Claymore
May
up
the
for that,
15th.
When is it?
May the 15th.
Is it May the 15th?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course. It's on.
Our good friend
next week. Sorry,
our good friend Claymore going to be running in that.
Claymore, who finished second to Native Trail.
Very well.
He's in your annoying pop-up that comes up.
It's a good, nice picture, though, isn't it?
It's
so much better
picture than you're showing today, that's for sure.
I like Claymore.
Great stuff. So it's some interesting horses there, and Native Trail only 3rd there. All right for Neil. All right, fair enough. Perfect Power is interesting, isn't he? He's a right old drifter. Marc, we're an hour away from the first classic of the season then. Native Trail on the Exchange. What is he at the moment, please, my man?
Yeah, he was quite weak. He was roughly about 2.1 last night, but when I checked this morning, he was roughly around 2.4. I'll just load it up because I've got the sportsbook market open up just now. But it has been quite weak. The money had been for Aidan O'Brien's Luxembourg. It came in a little bit there, 2.3, 757,000 in the market right now. But the backers, they're queuing up to back Luxembourg here. Was a banged up Betfair article with Ryan Moore during the week. He did say that Luxembourg and Point Lonsdale did work well at the Curragh. So obviously there's a little bit of info there. Caribus quite weak. But all the money seems to the backers definitely want to be on Luxembourg here.
Very interesting, Mr. Bond. Thank you very much. So Luxembourg then, of course, it would be huge for the colours, the Westerberg colours, who made a big investment worldwide. Chris Waller in Australia, Aidan O'Brien, of course, over here. And they've got Tenebrism in the 1,000 tomorrow. And Aidan O'Brien's won 6 of the last 10, you know.
He's just a man.
If it wasn't for Bilston Brook, he'd be on like a 6th-timer in the race.
I did some research into the classics. He's won 25 of the last 50 in Britain. Pretty mental.
Pretty mad.
Impressive.
Yeah, probably the best trainer in my lifetime.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
We're going to get horses to follow as well after the Palace House. Can't wait for them.
Cool.
I still don't
know who I'm putting up. I've got a few I want to follow, though.
Let's go to Goodwood, shall we, while Robbie muses over that, because this is an interesting listed race. And Marc, Primo Baccio, a friend to many last year. She sort of lost her way, didn't she? But she was favourite when I looked. She's been usurped.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised she's so weak in the betting here, Dave. She's around 3.9. She's big as 7-2 at one stage. I had her down as a 6-4, 7-4 chance here. All the money is for Roger Varian's Zanbeg. But what we're going to do on this race, we're going to showcase the Betfair Exchange capabilities again. We're going to use the place lay function here, 2-place market, Robbie.
Yeah.
We're going to lay Dave Orton's fancy Bash Grover.
Hang on, you're supposed to be teasing that, Marc.
2.74. I think it's a bit of a step. I think there's some good starts in here. You've got Zanbeg, Primo Baccio, and you've got Carol Burke's horse, Almendesh. I think Almendesh should be shorter than William Haggis's runner. 2.74. We'll have a £50 lay, 2.74.
Cool, man.
I think Primo Baccio is a big price here, 3.8. It's not one I would lay.
Actually.
Yeah, I think Bash Grover's starting to drift now. Looks about right, but I'm pretty confident we can get her out of the 2 here. First step into listed group company.
We've been matched.
Defend yourself, Dave. Come on.
I'll defend myself. Is that what I heard in my ear? Yeah, Dan Walsh was in my ear.
What on earth is Zambak favourite here?
Right.
Yeah, that's my view. I think Primo Baccio should be favourite here.
Yeah, this is going to be a case.
I'm happy to take both of these on. Zambak once raced maiden winners, novice winners, terrible record in this race. However, it is them, isn't it?
Them.
Rog, Jim Crowley and Shadwell. And the form of her Kempton win has worked out rather well.
Yeah. What, 2nd, 5th and 6th one next time?
She's in the Coronation Street. And you've done a bit of homework, see?
Yeah, I wrote the preview analysis for this, so
This is your race.
I'm qualified.
Why not Bashkirova then?
All right.
Over to you, Rob.
I was just going to say about Zambak.
Go on.
Yeah, that's the name. Zambak.
You got 3 minutes.
RPR of 82, right? The lowest RPR of a winner in this race been 100 the last 10 years. There's a lot of improvement to find for me. I want to know who these people are back in such a short price. She must be very, very good. And if
Yeah,
she
she's
is that,
too short, Robbie, isn't she? They're starting to drift a bit now. Zambegger at 3.3. Primo Batchelor could go off favourite here into 5-2. Yeah, it looks like this one could go off favourite, but...
When the money comes for these once-race Rog horses, that you have to sort of sit up a little bit because there is a punting yard. They know what they've got, very much know what they've got from their works. And well,
everyone knows I've got a great in with Jim Crowley.
You are, well, exactly.
I like it. Yeah.
You are good pals, though, aren't you?
Only because you give me 3 rounds of golf.
Is this what you're putting up,
Yeah,
Batch?
yeah, I'm putting this up. Yeah, yeah,
All right.
I like this horse. Yeah.
George Murray says lay it for a place, then Wilders.
I'm saying back Almohandessa.
Is this
Huge
it?
price.
That-
8-1's a huge price.
Yeah,
for
it's a
that.
massive price, isn't it, mate?
Cole Burke.
She would not look out of place in the Guineas for me after that run behind Cachet and the Nil Gwyn.
For he who must be obeyed.
Daughter of... It's nice, yeah.
Yeah, like
Well, here's
that.
a bet for you, Robbie. She's 5-4 to finish in the 3 here. Carl Burke's
Oh,
runner. That's
yeah.
value.
Do you want a bit of that, mate, on here?
Isn't it
No,
great
I've
to have
already
Marc
laid,
Hryhorskyj back on?
William
Yeah,
Haggis.
okay. Yeah, I'm going to have to log into my Betfair and do that. But Almohandessa, the engineer in Arabic, that she is Postpone's top-rated progeny by
Yeah.
some way.
Funnily enough, I've been looking for
Postpone came
postponed progeny.
Yeah, he came into his own, didn't he, as an older horse, and it
King
looks
George
like he's
winner.
turned inside out at 3. So massive price at 8.8.
My son was born on the day that postponed won his King George. There's a story there. Might tell it one day. Bashkirova, though, is the tip for me. Stevie Donohoe, one of my favourite days ever in this studio. Stevie Donohoe was on the panel, and we've been looking to try and get Stevie back in on a Saturday. And I said, "Have you got anything on Saturday coming up?" I say it almost every week for a bit of a joke because his stock, he's a top jockey, Stevie.
Yeah.
He's been patiently waiting for another top job. I think we can say that, and obviously with Tom the Pom, Marc and Kieran Fallon around the Haggis yard, he's had to be patient. But he rode in the Lincoln for him. He's had a couple of winners for him this week, and he told me I ride a very nice filly on Saturday, and I've looked at the form of it. She won her first 3 starts. Forget the last run. This is a race that Haggis tends to win as well. The money was down early. She's drifting out. Marc Hryhorskyj is being cheeky and trying to lay it for a place. I will go for the Allaho of the flat.
He's another one that's
Bashkirova.
found himself a bit Donahue, didn't he? He sort of went out in the doldrums a little bit years ago.
He went to Bermuda, wasn't it? Or was it the Bahamas?
Oh,
He was down in-
yeah.
he went
When
down-
COVID hit, do you know, he went
He
out.
went
It was
down for-
unbelievable.
He was working for Gary for a while down in Brighton
Yeah.
when a long time ago when Gary was down there, and Gary sort of gave
We
him
love
a
him
few.
because he says it how it is,
Yeah.
and he's a really good jockey. John Smith's Cup was the race that he won the season just before he came into the studio. He had no idea what to expect to this show, and he came in and he absolutely loved it. He's done a few feature shows with us as
Yeah.
well. We will get Stevie back, hopefully Royal Ascot Week and things like that. But listen, if he goes and wins this, maybe this filly will be there. Bashkirova for me then, and like I say, he does fancy his chances. That'll do for me. Primo Batchelor, oh man, it's a cliff horse for me. Primo. Love her to bits, but
Best horse in the
maybe
race.
she'll be, well, of course, the best horse in the race, but he's also giving a stone, isn't it? To
No lock-in gentry, I
Zambak.
thought was quite weird.
That
But
would
it does have a-
be brave to run it in lock-ins, though, wouldn't it?
It's got a Queen Anne entry, though.
Has it?
Yeah. Has she? Come on, mate. Not
She,
Not
yeah.
rich, is it?
Not well, Snow
Show a bit of
Lantern, I
respect,
guess. Snow Lantern, she was 5th in the Falmouth when she was unlucky, wasn't she? Andrea Atzini used to come tearing his hair
you
out.
boys know
Andrea.
Bashkirova's named after.
Go on.
Elena Bashkirova, Russian pianist.
There we are.
This is what horse racing's great for. You learn so much just by Googling horses' names.
Do you know you can go onto the BHA website and find out what names are still available? You can type them in. That's a game you ought to play. Will Carey, one of our
Definitely.
producers, loves it.
Like, literally just following Ballydoyle, just like their horse, the way they name their horses, you learn so much about historical figures. Don't you?
They have them
Wouldn't have known
lined
I
up for
probably wouldn't
years.
have known who
Sue
Gustav
Magnier, isn't
Klimt
it?
was if it wasn't for them.
Gustav Klimt.
He's actually a very famous painter.
Yeah, Primo
They're
Batchelor's
in
going off favourite
at-
here, Dave, 9-4.
Is that right? We've finally got a favourite
Yeah,
then in the
Zambak's on the
240. It's a
drip.
listed race. Good luck, Ruby, playing at Goodwood. Lovely to be back on the downs then at Goodwood. Tricky track, and Stevie Donohoe's got Bashkirova up for a share of the lead. Going to want to tag in behind hang on.
Almohandessa.
Very good, Robbie Wilders. You should be calling this.
Just call her the engineer.
The engineer is up front then for Andrea Azzini, who will be... I'll tell you what, if there's sod's law in this race, as we often say, it's the law to follow in racing in this studio. Andrea Azzini will be expecting to be beaten a short head by his old pal, Primo Batchelor, who is out the back. Catwar out the back as well. Zambak, considering just a one-ride batch, beautifully settled under your mate Jim.
Yeah, definitely. You've got him in a nice position.
I don't think they're going very fast here. I think they're slowing it down. He's going to kick.
They've steadied it up a bit, hasn't he? Definitely.
They're not. So we're going round the home turn then, basically, before we get this famous dip into the home straight. But man, it's a long way home.
Yeah.
Long way.
It's a long way home at Goodwood. Ever been to Goodwood, Robbie Wilders?
I have, mate, yeah. It's an absolute pain to get to, though, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's God's country. They call it God's racecourse when it sun shines, as it is there at the moment. And we are 4 furlongs out there. Marc Hryhorskyj, who do they like?
Quickening it up from the front here. Primo Batchelor 7-4 and running. Richard Kingscote, he looks like he's got a little bit of horse here. Zanabek's under pressure. I think Bashkarova, that's got a chance as well. Here they come on the outside. Is going to get swallowed up.
Got a chance. He's leading. Come on, Stevie. Kick
on.
Zambak then, still a bit green. What's this on the outside? Mrs. Fitzherbert for Huey
Yeah,
Morrison.
Wow,
Quickthorn just turned. I'll tell you what, Stevie Donahue on the inside, but he's going to get gubbed, I think. She wants a little bit further this year. Bashkarova, the two are going clear. Oh, my goodness, the outside is going to do it. Go on, Stevie on the inside. Stevie trying to get it back up. I don't believe it. We have been pipped by Mrs. Fitzherbert. Huey Morrison, George Rook, a big day in the sun on Saturday for George. Very unlucky with Quickthorn, I thought, as well in the Cigaro, because he had to make his move out widest on ground he didn't actually love. He has got another one here, hasn't he? We'll be seeing that back at Goodwood later in the year. Zambak, not good enough. Still a bit green, the 3-year-old. Little bit disappointing, the engineer. Primo Batchelor back to the drawing boards there with Ed Walker. Marc Hryhorskyj, when did they know?
Yeah, I think Bashkarova, I thought this one would have went a bit shorter because she was definitely staying on, and as you say, she probably needs further. It's only hit 2.14 for £700 in running there. I thought she would have traded about maybe 2s on there. Primo Batchelor, for some reason, that one went pretty short in the run as well. That's been traded at 1.88 for small money. Never looked like winning for me. I'm not even sure it was in the 3 in the end, but good run from George Rook, and Miss Fitzherbert won quite well. And obviously the Haggis horse had the rail as well, so that the advantage, so probably gives that win a bit more merit. But I'd give Bashkarova, I'll probably take that back. Probably give her another chance in this company. Got that one wrong. Zambak, that one looked a bit green for me as well, under pressure.
Very green, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, very green, yeah. Sort of, the penny sort of dropped about half a furlong from home, and listen, Jim's done the right thing. He's not hard on the horse. There's always another day, you know, and I think that's how Shadwell like it. They don't want him.
Yes.
She went 5-4 and running there as well. Surprisingly, she's traded 5-4 and running there. Pretty short, Matty, for me.
She's out. Yeah, well, do you know what? I was watching her more than the other two, and I just thought she was gaining, but the line just come too quick.
Could she be one for the Sandringham, do you think? Could she be one for the Sandringham?
Possibly, yeah. She's got to improve bundles from that run, I think.
Okay, all right. So we don't give up on Zambak then, who was one of. But what about Primo Batchelor? You're not. I mean, you wouldn't be out anytime soon, would you?
Nah.
How many excuses can you give horse, really? That was an easier run for her, wasn't it? Bashkarova's run really well. I think probably if a horse is going to want further out of it, it'll be her. Mrs. Fitzherbert, let's have a look about her. I mean, all-weather form, isn't it? And in fact, that was her first win on turf at the 4th attempt. And it's handicap. It's got that Lingfield form last August when it was, again, handicap. So Huey Morrison has got a big improver at 4.
She just had that turn of foot, Dave, I think. That
good ride as well, wasn't it?
Good ride, and I think she's just shown a little bit more turn of foot.
Whereas Bashkarova's had to get at it, hasn't it?
To get to the front. At it and keep going, and Miss Fitzherbert, it just found that turn of foot and just done it where it mattered.
The handicap will be happy because they're both rated on 97 carrying level weight. So that was our 148 to Goodwood. It's always great fun there. Of course, we will be back for the glorious meeting a little bit later on. All week we'll be with you at Royal Ascot as well. Don't forget we're back tomorrow here on Racing Post Live. Same place, same time. James Millman and Graham Robbie joining myself and Marc Hryhorskyj for Betfair. Massive weekend for Betfair, of course, sponsoring literally everything out there, including the Palace House. We bid farewell to Goodwood, then painful scenes there. I was looking forward to jumping out of my seat and rubbing some mud in Marc Hryhorskyj's face, who's doing rather well today. What wins the Palace House, my man?
Yeah, I'm actually going to use the lay facility here again on the Betfair Exchange. Same colours as the old MVLN. See if I've learned my lesson from the last race, but Twilight calls for me. I mean, I think this is a big step up for me. I like Came From the Dark, Tis Marvellous, Hurricane. I think they should be shorter than this one. Even if you look at Roger Fell's runner as well, when the deal is done, that's a 20 poke, and this one beat Twilight Calls at Goodwood. So quality animals in this race, so shouldn't be favourite in my opinion. So we're going to use the lay facility against around the same price, 2.76. We'll lay this one for 50 in the 2-place market.
2 place, yeah.
2 place. We'll have a go.
Understood.
I just think this one's a bit short. I think Came From the Dark should be favourite out of all the 4 at the top of the betting.
Yeah. How much, mate?
Just £50 stake, please.
Yeah.
2.7. Yeah.
Cool.
And an outsider as well. I think Robert Kells, Arecibo. I think that one's overpriced. A late run from Jamie Spencer could be on the cards. They go really fast early.
That went in the lucky 15 from memory, Mark, didn't it?
Yeah, unfortunately we just got the wrong ones in the lucky 15, but we're in front on the singles today, and obviously got tomorrow, so hopefully we can finish with even more profit tomorrow.
Yeah, it's been a great charity so far for the retraining of racehorses. Some checks already flying over there. Final date, Mark's in front as well. Right, let's get the market up then for the Palace House on the screen. There we can see the SP that you got there. Well, not as big as you might expect there for Mrs. Fitzherbert. But we shall now move on to the Palace House because it's sprinter time. Guys, there we go. All right, it's come up. Great stuff. Twilight Calls, 4.4. Come on the dark, come on the dark. All right, let's go down the batch. Sprinters, probably not 100% your thing, but do you like sort of watching them whiz by?
Yeah, I don't mind. I've been lucky enough to sit on a few. It's over in a second, but it's when you're on a quick one, it's a great rush, great buzz.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean,
did you ever ride in any sprints? Because they used to have like a few jump jockey challenges and things, didn't they?
I rode in the day I rode. I've probably told the story. I rode a 5 furlong winner in an apprentice race at Lingfield. And then when I rode in a 3-mile handicap chase at Windsor.
At Windsor?
Yeah, apprentice race
when
at
they
Lingfield.
were actually jumping at Windsor?
Yeah.
When you could ride in 2 metres a day, of course?
That's right, yeah, of course, yeah. And Gary's dad, he sort of gave me he said, where do you want to go? He said, do you want to go to Windsor to ride in your first chase? Or do you want to ride...
What, on the same day you've ridden a 5 furlong?
Yeah, he said, or do you want to go to Lingfield, ride over 5 furlongs? Now, I thought the sprinter was a good old sprinter. Candy used to win on him an awful lot, and he was going to go a favourite for the sprint. I thought, well, he'd definitely win, but the jump jockey in me said, like, I've never ridden over fences. And it was like, we used to have this 17-hand old chaser, and I'd put anyone on him, Dave, like, to just send him into a fence. He was class. Yeah, I'd put you on him, yeah. I'd put both of you on him at the same time.
I'm not going near a horse, mate.
Absolute class.
Same.
Absolute class. I was like, oh, no. What? And he said, no, you can only do one, And then I sort of went outside and Gary said, go back in there. And he said, like, I used to be scared stiff of Mr. Moore. Like, what he said went, and that was it. And I was only like sort of 19. Gary said, go back in there. He said, tell him you'll ride both. I mean, Lingfield Windsor ain't far at all. It was the first and last race, so it was like I could have rode a bike there. Was that?
I bet that was a great day, Batchelor.
Oh, he's brilliant, yeah. And of course, so when Mr. Moore said, okay, then you can do the 2, but don't make sure you get there. And yeah, won the apprentice 5 furlong sprint. And then finished 5th in the handicap chase over 3 mile, yeah.
Brilliant. There's on it. If you had to ride one in the Palace House then, 3 o'clock?
For me, I came from the dark. Ed Walker, Holly Dahl. I think what she's done is absolutely brilliant, Holly. She never got sort of... Most days I check the results, she's had a winner. The thing that would worry me is the 301-day layoff. I just think it's a long time to have off. So probably Twilight Calls just edges it for me, but I'm going to stick with Came From the Dark.
Well, Marc's into laying Twilight Calls. Robbie...
lay Twilight Calls for sure.
It went out to 4-1. Now the punters are going back in. When he won the handicap, the course and distance handicap on his return, he didn't look totally in love with the dip for me, but didn't he fly out of it? And if there's one man... Apparently, straight after that race, Henry nominated this. Now, with a mark of 100, you could save him for something like the Wokingham. I mean, that could have been a plan.
Yeah.
And if you've got a group horse, then it's a great prize to win that.
I don't think there won't be many horses that will like the dip, but there'll be better horses that handle it better, because you'll go in from flat, down, and then back up again. Any horse, it's going to be hard enough to change them strides going downhill, uphill very quickly. So it's not many will like it, and it's who handles it the quickest and can change their leg the quickest.
There we go. You have been told by Mattie Batchelor. Now, that is interesting, isn't it? And he has obviously successfully done it. As came from the dart did, as Mattie said, unlucky in this race last year, I've come down on him. This is a race, I think, where you want to pin, because it is an informative race. Let's say that this isn't. I don't know many people out there today that are saying my nap's in this race, and it's the one race I'm concentrating on. I'm going to make my profit in this race. Because this is a race where you want to pin yourselves. Who's the sprinter that's going to go forward from this race? This can be
it's like King's Stand. Been a
King's Stand,
trial,
exactly
isn't it?
that.
Yeah.
Exactly that. Soul Power, of course, previous winners of the
Roll
race.
of Honour is superb.
Yeah.
This race probably isn't the greatest running. When you see you've got like Mabs Cross, Marsha, Profitable, Gold Dream, Soul Power.
All very well
good
established
horses,
names.
Mason.
Came from the dark, beaten in this, only run once afterwards, was a winning one. Picked up a niggle. I spoke to Ed Walker pre-Starman time. Remember when we went out to Haydock last year, and he said we're not quite happy with him. We just want to save him for his 6-year-old campaign because I know there's that Group 1 in him. He's working back from the King's Stand.
Yeah.
I think he's still up to winning this.
Yeah.
Look, of course, fives. He's around about fives, isn't he? That's about right for me. I had it down to 3. Came from the dark. Hryhorskyj, who successfully came from the handicap ranks last time. He's got the penalty, but that was done last year in this race. And Cardem as well, who's a bit of a flyer. Looks like there's been money for him. Before we confirm that with Marc Hryhorskyj, Robbie Wilders.
Came from the dark as well. If he's going to be, if the King's Stand is the big top, he's got to have to be going close here if he's a genuine.
Got to be going close
contender.
here, hasn't he?
Yeah, he was quite unlucky last year. Took a while to get out, didn't he?
Yeah.
Better passage. He was quite unlucky not to be unbeaten last season. Really. He had a really good season. It was a shame he missed that. I mean, he's already beaten Arecibo before.
Well, I think they took the view that they could have got him back.
Yeah, but they didn't want to rush him. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Did he have a knock after? Because he didn't run after July.
It was just after. And
Yeah,
they were gutted, I think, when it happened as well, because they were looking towards the Nunthorpe and races like that. And
I like him, mate. I mean, I backed him for the King's Stand last year, about 25 sod.
all right, let's see what you like out there before we go to the Palace House. 3 o'clock, so we've got 5 minutes to get your trades on. Some more 1, 2, 3s for the Guineas, which comes up in, 45 minutes' time, all being well, Newmarket. MI, good to have you back on. Nature Trail on top, like so many people out there, followed home by Ed O'Brien's Luxembourg, and Check and Challenge, who has been...
Purple Jumper quite likes him, doesn't he? Keith
Melrose. He's always wearing a purple jumper, isn't he? I told him about that you've got this theory about him, and he was. He
told that to him.
He went, it's Damson, something like that. He
I started wearing a navy blue one. It's actually a nicer bit of kit, I'd say.
Is it?
So he's just moved up in the world.
You're
now.
doing him a favour.
Just basically, mate.
Of course, he is your boss.
Yeah, he is. But
Yeah.
I like to wind him up as well.
Well,
I
of
mean,
course.
basically, don't wear the same gear every day.
We can all wind him up, the betting editor at the Racing Post. And let's get another one in. Great to have that. And Daniel Haluska, I think I've got that right. 'Tis marvellous for me in this one, for my pal Steve Barrow, who's probably watching this. Well, he probably is at Newmarket, actually. He's a Watford fan as well. Let's face it, where would you rather be if you had a horse today?
Highest rated horse in Clive Cox's yard, that. It's quite surprising.
Marv, they called him in the stables
Marvin.
there.
Marvin Gaye.
Marvellous Marv. He had a marvellous season as well. He's never won first time out there, and I couldn't find an 8-year-old that won this race. I think this is, again...
He'll need it, dear.
We always wait for the Hryhorskyj Cup meeting for him, and he absolutely takes off.
Yeah.
Beverly Bullet. He is a brilliant horse. I love him to bits.
Can you not book me in for live on the Hryhorskyj Cup? I don't like the Hryhorskyj Cup.
What? I was going to say, are you going?
Nah.
Do you not like it?
Nah. Do you like it?
There's only one thing I like about the Hryhorskyj.
What is that?
Prize money?
It's the free golf day on the
Oh yeah, because you get to do it. But it's like a tour, isn't it?
yeah,
if you get to
at
do
Fox
it. Yeah.
Hills, great
Yeah.
golf course.
I think it's great fun, and of course that'll be back later on at Ascot.
Can
It's
I-
not for everyone, but
I was trying to make
People do
one
love
more
it.
point known. Right, Twilight Calls is the second lowest rated runner in this entire race.
so what? But
why-
it's the Henry Candy factor. Come on, Mark, tell us about this. If Henry Candy gets one into a group race from handicap, it's not that hard to make the bridge up, is it?
I think it's a big step up. Listen, I might have egg on my face here. I think he's too short at 4.3.
You need some egg on your face
Yeah.
today after that Basker
Yeah.
overlay.
But I tell you, there's a lot of money for St. Lawrence. 34s into 12.5. Roger Varian, James
word.
Doyle.
First
That can
horse
maybe
I
be
kicked
doubled.
out of the race.
Yeah, interesting money, but they're definitely backing that one.
So
Queuing
you
up
could
to back
back
that
it.
one. Again, Tis Marvellous out to 13.5. I mean, he's a huge price at 12 to 1.
He was a silly price when they opened up, Mark, only because of his official rating. He was
Yeah.
always going to drift. I wouldn't hold it against him at all.
I think 12 to 1's a huge price. I'd rather be on Tis Marvellous at 12s than Twilight Calls at 7 to 2, 4.3. But again, I could have it wrong, but I just think it's a big step up in class. And these are hard and listed group animals here. This is the hardest assignment that Twilight Calls faced. 4.3, 7 to 2 is a bit skinny for me.
Okay, well, look, social media loves these horses, don't they? The unexposed, progressive batches on him as well, because he's got proven form in the dit. All of the previous winners that I found in this race had won over the distance. The only one that hasn't, St Lawrence. But James Doyle knocked home, of course, Cap Francais. None of us could really see that apart from Marc Hryhorskyj. And Rochever in very good form has had a wind-up horse that ran in some pretty decent races without success as a 3-year-old. Okay. The sprinters are about to come out. It will be over very quickly. I'm going to try and come to you guys during this. All right, for some raucous reaction. I've been, because of the finishes.
I will be cheering on here. I've had a fair bet. Yeah.
You've had a go at Came from the Dark.
Yeah.
Come on, Holly.
Come on, Holly.
Turnstile, of course,
Come
touched
on.
off for Holly in the previous race. We're all on the grey. The greys go lighter, don't they, as you get older? He looks an absolute picture. G-Rod gone for Tis Marvellous out there. He just thought it was a silly a drifter. We've got all the favourites in here, haven't we? Oh, God,
some late money for Qipco as well, William Buick. That's into 8-1 from around 12s as well. And there's still money for St Lawrence. Tune up for that. A little bit of late money for Jamie Spencer and Arecibo as well.
Kadam in stall 1, where Caribus will come out of in around about 40 minutes' time. It is the Guineas. We will be covering it here. Massive build-up for the race at 3:40 on RP Live. Dave Orton, Mattie Batchelor, Robbie Wilders. Great panel this afternoon. Great viewership out there. Keep the feedback coming in. We love to hear from you. And Marc Hryhorskyj having a lovely afternoon from Betfair as well. You mentioned Cardem, stall 1. He's a really quick horse. He frustrated Charles Hills. He thought... Do you remember we got touched off in the Diamond Jubilee when they had... what was it? It was the Ascot race in COVID when no one went. And he just got touched off on his return. He finished 4th. He was far too keen. They thought he was going to be a world beater that year. And he's got blinkers on now. But William Buick is on. This would be a massive fillip for Will Buick, wouldn't it? Can we see it? I don't know.
Got the run behind him as well. Fit from running in Maidan.
Does Mondamedge ever have a day off? Do you think he took the mickey out of him so much last year?
He works harder than Jimmy Pugh.
Anthony Britton's just works harder than Jimmy Pugh. Yeah, of course.
Not that
great man at the Racing Post.
Don't know if our viewers can know who that is, but he's the audience editor of the Racing Post.
We should try and
Some
get him
work
in, shall we?
rate, to be
I'm
fair.
just looking at
He's
Came
been on
from
the
the
message
dark.
today,
Came from the dark there, Dave. He looked like he probably would come on for the run a little bit.
Don't say that, Badge.
Yeah, but listen, if you've got the King's Stand in mind and you'll come into a race like this, if you're good enough to go and win a race like that, then not 100% Came from the Dark should win this.
Okay. Well, no, look, he was unlucky in the race last year, but he had a run, hadn't he? So, okay. And of course, he went and won at Sandown, didn't he? Beating Arecibo, who were watching going in. Cardem, the last to go in. You can get tickets, can't you, to go in last into the stalls. Looks like Charlie Hills has bought one for the ex-Shadwell horse now with Jim and Fitzroy Hay. Good luck then. It's Palace House. Some of the greats have won this pre-Royal Ascot. Who will come out on top? Where will they go? We're bidding down the centre to far side. They haven't won a known the stand side so far. Native Trail. But at the moment, burning the turf. It is up front. Arecibo absolutely flying at the moment up there. Cardem, look at him with his head. Proper keen, proper fast horse. On the near side, when the deal is done, Neil Cannon for Roger Till. Twilight Calls is going to get a lovely run here. A Hang from the Dark guy is probably too keen as he's absolutely lit up.
I can't even see him.
He's the great right at the back, man. He's the easiest to see.
No, but he's not. He's got
Twilight Calls absolutely can't.
Twilight Calls is absolutely can't. What price, Marc?
Yes, he should be 101, I think. He's absolutely cantering. I'll tell you something, they've went far too quick early, haven't they? The pace is collapsing.
Now, Cardem on the far side is the only one that can possibly go with him. He's drifted a bit, Twilight Calls. St Lawrence Gap is coming through. I'll tell you what, on the far side, what's this as well? Existent as well for Stuart Williams and Marco Gianni. He's fallen in the hole, Twilight Calls. Is it going to be a double? It's going to be Cardem on the far side for Charles Hills. Made virtually all will be the comment on the far side. We'll pick the bones out of that. Zarzini was finishing. We said they went too fast, Marc. This thing stayed there.
Yeah, it was some right from William Buick there aboard Qipco. I mean, they did better. That's returned 7.8 on the Betfair Exchange. Was high pre-race around 16-1 for a 3-figure bet, so they were definitely back in that one. We'll see how low Twilight Calls went. I had a little look. He's been matched around 1.8 and running. I actually think he might have went a bit shorter because it looked like the pace was going to collapse. Existent Marco Gianni, Stuart Williams, another second there. Let's see how short that one's went. That's only traded 2.4. At one stage in the half a furlong out, you did think he was going to get there, but he's only traded as short as 2.4. A good ride from William Buick. Back to form, Kadam. BSP 7.8, Gamble landed.
We had a good word about him before, didn't we? He said he's one of the 3, if you'd follow the excellent Kevin Morley's trends, that you could pick out of this. Just looking for somebody also around. I mean, he's kept far side, isn't he, Batch?
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
And they've gone lickety-split from the word go, but he stayed there, hasn't he?
You like that, Wilders, lickety-split.
Lickety-split. Have you just been waiting to unleash it?
It's only taken till 3 o'clock.
Lickety-split.
Not a term of year every day, is it?
Eye catchers galore here, guys. Let's go for the also rounds at the moment. As you see, the winner you just think he's going to fall in the hole. And this is where Marc said it should be 101. That was your place lay as well, Marc. So you're delighted about this. You've got that absolutely spot on.
Yeah, Existence came from a long way back, and even Arecibo, he was quite prominent early on. I think he would have been a bit further back. He's tired as well for the lucky 15.
He's definitely tired, Twilight Calls. He's hanging, isn't he? Look, I'm not sure about his form, but there are horses coming out of this race that will be winning races as the season goes on. Hryhorskyj, last of all. That was a surprise, wasn't it?
The dart was pretty...
Far too keen, wasn't he, early?
St Lawrence.
St Lawrence has run a blinder, and again, definitely one to take out of it.
Yeah.
Batch got a lovely trip through the race, I would say, under James Doyle.
Came from the dart, they looked, as you said, Dave, looked very keen.
And needed it badly.
Very, yeah.
We'll
Too
watch
fresh.
out for him. I reckon he'll go to York after this, probably.
Too fresh today.
And
Holly wasn't too hard on him either.
Some other eye catchers in the race. Hot's Marvellous ran well, considering he never looked like he was going to win, but I don't think this was his day. I think we can say that, the 8-year-old. His best form was at Ascot. You watch for him.
I'll be looking
back
to take this on next time out as well. Twilight Calls obviously had the fitness on his side 16 days ago. Obviously came from the dart to his Marvellous. I think they'll all come on for the run. So Twilight Calls probably be a silly price next time. You could probably lay that one in place. That's how I think it would go.
All right, okay, thanks, Marc. Yeah, I'm just getting some social interaction building up here, because Twilight Calls, I think, basically... here we go. And here we go. I think Ross Briley said that if we would never see him again if Cardem won. Oh, was this his big thing last night, was it, guys? Dan? Was this a Ross Briley special?
It'd be a great loss, wouldn't he, Ross?
We'll never see him again. Well, he was supposed to cover me next weekend, and he already can't do that. So, yeah, all right. Roscoe, perhaps we'll try and get a word with him then. Congratulations, Ross, if you're watching in the know last night. You're probably in Clover as well, aren't you? Cardem, though, I tell you what, he's done very, very well to win there. I don't know whether it says a lot for the form in behind that we've got Existent, who absolutely ate the ground there, the outsider of the lot. Marco Gianni and Stuart Williams, second in our first race with above. He was a finisher, wasn't he? Zarzini is probably the one you would handicap this around, I think. Fit, all-weather form. David and Nicola Barron now, of course. The joint trainers up there. He would be, again, low draws here, guys. Stall 1 beats stall 2. Who comes out of the Guineas stall 1?
Caribus.
Oh,
yes.
It looked a 48-hour deck time when that came out of the draw for Caribus, like a bit of a party pooper, but not the way the track is riding. If anything, you'd be slightly worried about Native Trail now in 15, which is very surprising. Perhaps the jocks know something we don't about Newmarket and that rolling mile at the minute, because they usually stick, middle, come stand side. When Galileo Gold won all those years ago under Frankie Dettori, Frankie rode a masterpiece, got to the stands rail in the final furlong from the outside box all the way across. I'd be amazed if they don't go far side now.
Possibly, yeah.
Robbie, you're deep in thought.
Yeah, agreed.
Agreed. All right.
That just shows
confirmed.
you that dip shows you how it can work for front runners. Because Buick, they've gone quick early. He's in, out of the dip, stole a little bit out of it, and the other sort of just got caught on the hock a little bit.
What do you make of Twilight?
He was tiring at the end.
What do you make of Twilight? Do you think I reckon the handicap is going to give him another £1 or £2 for that? He's on a mark of 100, right? Which would he's won over 6 furlongs. You're just thinking he's the one that might be the way he travels through that race.
Yeah.
Did he hit the front a bit too soon? I don't know, because he hung a bit. He hung it away.
Possibly, yeah. Again.
Are you disappointed with that?
Not really. I think the winner possibly maybe stole a little bit.
Got a breather and
Just
went.
got a little bit of a
Could he be on the
breather.
right side of the track? That's what I'm getting at.
Well, I don't know.
Zarzini ran a bit too well for me there, Wilders. What do you reckon?
Yeah.
I mean, he's well exposed, isn't he? He's an all-weather sprinter, you know.
It's not going to do much going forward, is it?
No, so the form's muddling, is it? Is what I'm trying to say.
You know what could be value here, Dave, with your sort of theory. But for the big one, Royal Patronage, John 6, that one's going to go forward. Guaranteed front runner on the far side. He's a 60 poke on the Betfair Exchange.
Who, of course,
he's
beat
actually the one I
Caribus.
fancy. Yeah, so if you want to get that on just now, because I think that price will start going.
Yeah, I'll get that on for you.
What have the times been like today, Dave?
Need to check them.
Beg
Did you
pardon,
check the
Batch?
times? Newmarket?
No, I'm going to look now.
Yeah.
I've been meaning to do it all day.
Yeah,
and
go
you've
on
just been
the
keeping me up
Use
to my
the
work.
exchange for
So.
this one.
That's-
Yeah, I'm on the exchange, mate. Yeah.
You've got to take into account, I think, a lot
Well,
of these times will, I think, they'll be slower
We'll have
than
20
standard
on
because you've got a lot of these horses with first runs.
Is
they're-
it almost exactly what they're
And
saying?
we're back
It
Eden
is.
as well. I had 30 on the win on Eden as well at 44s.
Covering
There
some
you go.
bets here.
Score on
Marc
Roll
Hryhorskyj.
Patronage.
So
Score and
Barry's not
half on
looking.
Aiden.
Yep, see if you can get matched. Yeah, so I just think the way Eden could be running on far side, Patronage maybe nick it from the front.
Blackrod, the best time of the day so far, guys, by the way.
Have
He
we
made
got
that look
matched
like very
for
fast
Roll
rounds.
Patronage. Should we
And
take,
did you say the others were just slower than standard?
Just
should we
slightly
take the
slow.
55 instead?
Yeah, we'll take 55s. Happy with that, yeah.
Alright, cool.
Yeah.
That could be a number of things.
Score on.
Obviously, the ground's
Here's
good ground.
Good to firm in place is what
Most
they're
of these
calling it.
horses are having their first runs, so I think you've got to take into account it's very early on in the season.
That's interesting.
I would look at it.
Yeah. Well,
more
they are
than-
going
more than
near
the
to
ground.
standard.
I think we're
let's
looking at
put
the
it
ground
that
a
way.
bit too much. to be
Yeah,
honest.
I think it's definitely drying good ground,
Yeah.
isn't it, basically? So the Betfair Palace House goes to Cardem. Well done if you got involved in that gamble, beating 25 to 1 shot existent, and St Lawrence, the gambler of the race, who's got a biggie in him for Oddsvaring this year as a 4-year-old. Take him out the race, I think, as well, along with Tis Marvellous for later on. It came in the dark. It was a tough call, that, so we're going to have to give him another chance, but it's hard, isn't it, when a horse doesn't show that much, you know. All right, let's get our horses to follow lined up soon as well, shall we? We're going to keep collecting and building the social interaction out there. We are sub half an hour away from the Guineas, or this Newmarket, we're probably 40 minutes away. But that will be the final race coming up for you. We've been to Thirsk and the Hunt Cup. What a hoot that was, and at Goodwood as well for an interesting listed race. But now is classic action. Another reminder that we are back tomorrow. Sunday service for you with the 1,000 guineas and a great undercard as well. It's the main attraction, guys. Native Trail. He's in stall 15. So far, Marc Hryhorskyj, not the place to be.
Yeah, I think could potentially be a place lead here. He's definitely going to be on the wrong side, isn't he? Caribous drawn 1. I think this is wide open. I think Native Trail around 2.34. Probably about the right price. He was odds on yesterday. That'd probably be a lay in the win, but he's drifting out to about the right price now. But yeah, it could potentially be a boil over here. I think Luxembourg, that 7.2, that one should probably be a bit shorter as well. I think Caribous will probably improve for this run. I think his sort of future is further down the line. But Native Trail, I wouldn't be surprised if this drifts maybe 2.5, maybe 2.6.
6 to 4 then, maybe 13 to 8. A drifter upcoming, says Marc Hryhorskyj. Imperious thus far. We're loving your noisy flask, say the producers, by the way. It's like someone's
Oh,
like...
yeah, it's a new purchase, actually.
You know, I mean,
it's so big. It's
It's
a
a
litre,
hip
right?
flask.
It's offensively big, isn't it?
Stainless steel, though. Like, drinking out of plastics is not good for you, mate.
You've had the promotion.
I hate plastic.
You're getting these sort of
Oh,
contraptions.
this only costs like
It's like someone wants to make a
£8.
speech, isn't it, when they tap the glass? You know, it's like
Oh.
Wilders wants to speak.
Doesn't actually make the noise I was hoping for.
All right, OK.
I might just leave the lid off if people are getting wound up by me.
Don't milk
taking
it.
off.
You know, this is supposed to be a slick show, you know. Right, OK. I want to look down for horses to follow now from people as well. Let's get it, shall we? We're, half an hour away, as we say, from the main attraction of the day. 1, 2, 3 for the Guineas, a horse to follow. What for the 1-0 up, says Nigel Howlett. Oh, I knew this was going to be the red herring with our survival chances. But, yeah, in the day
You
that
ain't
I'm
got a
in
chance,
here.
mate.
We've lost our last 10 home matches, you know. I'm not going to go into it anyway. This was always going to be the day that we won, wasn't it? Batch,
Yes.
can you give us a horse to follow? And you're going to rely on Sam to give you what you forgot what it's
No,
called.
in my defence, I had a rare day off work this week.
Ooh.
Rare day. And I was watching Lingfield on Thursday.
Yeah.
And a very good friend of mine, Lady Bamford, saw a nice horse.
Who gives you the hospitality gig at Cheltenham?
Absolutely,
Cheltenham,
yeah.
isn't it?
One of the best boxes at Cheltenham. March Moon, John Gosden, Robert Haviland beat the true accolade, odds-on favourite of Charlie Appleby, 7.5 lengths and 10 lengths back to the winner. It looked very impressive.
OK.
Very impressive. So that is my horse to
It
follow.
beat a Godolphin horse, didn't it? And it absolutely
True accolade,
posed up.
yeah.
It had its problems at 3, I think. I backed it when it's just whether it's not whether, isn't it? But that's Hryhorskyj looked like it had every right to win that race, didn't it? And he thrashed
Blew it out of the water, yeah.
Gosden horse to follow.
Yes, definitely.
Absolutely love that. Robbie Wilders, have you come up with one yet?
Hryhorskyj. Do you know
Sorry?
that is? Hryhorskyj.
Enlighten us, please.
Do you know that? Do you know that is?
How do we spell it?
It's actually it's Pizbadile.
And I do know who
it's a
it is,
mountain
but
range.
what are we going to win?
He could win the Derby.
Trained by?
Donica O'Brien. Owned by
You are a
Flaxman's
sucker
Stables.
for Donica O'Brien. I've been watching your
Yes.
tips over the times, and you love a Donica.
I love, not a bad looking
I've caught
fella
you
either,
out there.
actually.
Oh, do you hear that? Hold on. He's not a bad-looking fella. I bet you've been compared to him, haven't you?
Nah, I get compared to Captain America. Some fella on the show actually said that. Cheers, mate.
Captain America. I would have said Kenny Everett, would you?
I've also had,
He doesn't sell himself
Kenny
short,
Everett.
does he?
I've also had Robin.
In the
Kenny
best
Everett.
possible taste.
I've had Robin van Persie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had Olivier Giroud, generous. I've also had Ben Affleck. So anyway, Pizbadile. Won the Ballysack Stakes on his return.
Yeah.
Beat
Case
Buck.
made, please. Come on.
Yeah. Ulysses, his highest rated son as a
Okay.
juvenile. Unlucky not to be unbeaten. He's got an unbelievable pedigree. He's gonna just get better and better. These Ulysses, I'm very keen to see how they're going to get on this year. And made the perfect start to the season, and I could see it continuing.
Okay, Pizbadile for Donica and Deontay. Will Thompson, horse to follow. Oh, come on.
Aku Najla.
Aku Najla. What does it
Aku
mean?
Najla.
Robbie, what was going
Google
to find
it.
out. Because
Google
Roger
it.
Varian,
Google
we know
it.
that.
I'm googling it.
Google it.
Oh, this is the
Najla.
well-bred Galileo Gold. Good link there, Will, because of course a Guineas winner. This is the St James's Palace Hope, isn't it? That absolutely hacked up at Yarmouth.
Yeah, it's Arabic, obviously.
Good luck with that one then.
just
But that
mean-
is a
it's just a
very,
name.
very interesting horse, Will. I'll give you that. And Rog seems to love it, don't they? And
Half brother to Galileo Gold.
it is.
Yeah.
Thanks, I just said that, Robbie. It's
Did you
usually me
actually?
that doesn't listen.
Sorry, mate. I was a million miles away trying to work out who the horse is
Kenny
named
Everett.
after.
Brilliant,
Kenny.
Will. Love that. Thank you very much. And we're going to look for him and shout him every time he runs for you. And Neil Francis coming on. Ooh, Eldar Eldarov. Hang on a minute.
He's
Can
just
we-
Googling Kenny Everett.
Hang
I
on
don't
a
look
minute.
I don't look like Kenny Everett. I do know who he is, but I didn't.
Hang on, Eldar
I didn't
Eldarov.
know
Hang
who he looked like.
Eldar,
You're sticking your fishing rod out there, aren't you?
Neil, what do we... Eldar
You look more like
Eldarov.
him.
Eldar Eldarov looks like it's a fighter. Oh, no, it's run. It is. Hang on.
Eldar
David
Eldarov.
Egan, Roger Varian in the same colours as Will's horse.
That was,
one at
David-
Nottingham.
David Mills'
October.
horse to follow Eldar Eldarov for the
That is
season.
very interesting, Neil Francis. Why would be my... It absolutely hosed up, didn't it? Is it entered?
David Mills' horse to follow for the season.
Is
That-
it? Eldar Eldarov.
Newmarket correspondent. So
Is in the Derby, is in the Dante. It could be its
must
Thursday
be
lineup
working
in
very
next
well
month.
on Warren Hill.
Well entered up. All right, that's his horse to follow, is it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Neil Francis,
and
were
he's
you
got,
watching
and
David
he's got
Mills?
the pick of all these
I know,
regally
wonderful horses.
bred horses.
That I'm learning, which is great. One more, the son of Tabari then. And who does Devo go for? Bringing it back. 1, 2, 3. Native Trail, LaSalle and Aiden for Devo in the 2,000 guineas, which is coming up in around about half an hour's time. Me and Marc are going to give you horses to follow as well. I've got one.
Go on, mate.
Scope.
Yeah. Going to win a big one this year.
Did that have that reaction in my mind, but I'm happy with it.
No. Go on, make your case to me.
Group 1 winner in the Cup division last season, of course, in France. Hacked up at Ascot, beating a horse called Chalk Stream. It's now for Her Majesty gone down under for Chris Waller. Rafe Beckett, lightly raced, is only just coming into its own and could. I think that Trushan is a lovely animal, but I think there is scope for having a crack at him. You think I'm mad?
No, I'm just saying the pun.
What, a crack at?
No, you just said there's scope to
Have a crack at him?
Yeah.
What was that?
Oh, you don't normally do puns, do you?
Well,
That's more Ross Briley's thing.
I actually do. Yeah, it is Ross's thing. I do tend to do puns, but I managed to sort of.
Do you like him
eradicate
for the Ascot Gold Cup potentially?
Yep, 100%. He's
What
going to
price
run in
is
the
he?
Yorkshire Cup, hopefully, on the day that I'm up at York.
What sort of price is he for the Ascot Gold Cup?
Good
I think that race
question.
is a race to have an interest in because I'm not sure. Well, I mean, there's every chance Trushan doesn't run, and he's a dominant stayer in the division.
Oh,
isn't
yeah,
he?
I mean, they're going to be.
I mean, I was all over him. I was on him at big prices last year, and they pulled him out at the last minute. I was absolutely gutted. And
Like Holly. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Holly.
Well, no, but I don't know if I was. I think maybe I was more gutted.
Holly was absolutely seething, as was Graham Rodway that day, because they were like, the ground wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
And do you remember,
exactly.
every other day it rained at Ascot, bar the Gold Cup day. It was just unlucky.
Yeah, it's terribly unlucky.
Yeah, so Trushan is the
I'm gonna get
rightful
your price for
favourite,
Stoke.
of course, in the Gold Cup, and possibly my favourite race of the entire week at Royal Ascot, and I think Rafe Beckett's Stoke could be one to go with. Marc Hryhorskyj, give us a horse to follow for 2022.
I'll give you one that's running tomorrow, 1,000 guineas. I genuinely think this will win. Fancy quite strongly. Gerline's Juncture, 18 to 1 chance on the Sportsbook right now. Expecting a big run from this one. I think she'll go shorter on the day. She's a proper Group 1 animal. I think she's potentially the best horse in Ger's Yard. 25 to 1 for the Coronation Stakes as well. You should go back and watch that run at Dundalk. She's absolutely hacked up on that debut. I think she's pretty smart.
Mark, can you say absolutely hacked up again for me? Because that's exactly what I said about the Yarmouth horse.
We'll do it tomorrow if she absolutely hacks up, okay? I'm confident.
When something absolutely hacks up, you have to give it large, don't you?
Oh,
What did
definitely.
you last absolutely hack up on?
Juncture's only rated 98.
I can't remember the last time I absolutely hacked up
was
on
in
anything.
Jersey.
It must have been.
You were making faces then when Mark gave that over. But you couldn't see
Oh,
that.
no, I
viewers,
was,
but you were like,
I was expecting Marc to be so bullish. No, it's interesting.
Matt Gardner, our handicapper, put it up on Watch Out yesterday.
Did he?
Yeah.
She's very well formed within the yard, so there's a bit of inside info for you there. So.
She's great.
Right.
Scope is 12s, I'm hearing on the sportsbook, by the way. Thanks, Dan Walsh, for that.
We saw some good winners this week, Dave. Go Bears Go and Princess Zoe at Ascot.
At Ascot.
Yeah.
That was a crazy race.
How did Princess Zoe go off 17 to 2 there?
Yeah.
Best horse in the race.
Just thought maybe the ground. She hadn't quite shown it at least recently. Yeah, she
second on Good to Firm in
There's
last
a lot
year's
said
Gold
about
Cup.
that race, of course, wasn't there? The
Would that have a big
interference and
chance in the Gold Cup?
Yeah, if
Yeah.
it rains, or has already got form in the Gold Cup.
I'd
yeah.
say even if
Yeah,
it doesn't
yeah,
rain,
yeah,
mate.
yeah.
Second on Good to Firm last year to Subjectivist, and he's not there this season.
Oh, yeah, poor old Subjectivist. And Sir Ron Priestley, of course, now retired, who stars of last season. So there you go, some horses to follow. We can keep hearing yours because we've got 20 minutes until the 2,000 guineas. It's classic weekend here on RP Live. Sunday service served up for you tomorrow as well. Myself, Dave Orton, back with Marc Hryhorskyj. He's having a great day. Before we go to what Mark wants to be with in the Guineas, as a reminder, and how he sees the market going, let's get some more 1, 2, 3s out. The boys in the gallery have given me theirs. Sam has gone Native Trail on top. Obvious. Aidan, a lot of people like that. And Luxembourg as well.
Yeah, what's yours, Dave?
Well, I'm not going to give it yet. We're going to give it in a
Do
second.
you want me to give mine?
No, not yet.
Okay.
I said the guys in the gallery. I mean, perhaps you'd be better off working in the gallery.
Yeah, Sam be
Dan
better than me
Walsh
on these shows.
Goes Berkshire Shadow, Tom Siegel. I saw you put something up about that earlier, Dan, as well. What's the price going to go? Charlie Sharp as well is doing our social team. He really likes that as well. The Coventry winner for the Baldings. Oh, that'd be a right old knockout, wouldn't it? Perfect Power. Potential non-stayer. Will he stay or not? We'll find out what the panel exactly think of that and steer you in the right way. And Native Trail third for Dan, sticking the Fav in as a token trifecta. We've been landing some combination trifectas, and we've got a forecast up as well last week as well somehow. Let's go for it then. Once Marc Hryhorskyj tells us what price Native Trail currently is, because he's standing head and shoulders above them on form. £7 officially ahead of the field at the moment, but he was below the best on his reappearance in the Craven, Mark.
Yeah, I know this sounds a bit strange, but I'm not sure if this could be his best track. He could be better suited to a flat track. I know he's won over the course and distance already, but he's 2.3 to back at the moment. There's just over £1 million matched in the market. One I think is quite interesting is Luxembourg. I'll probably have that in around 9 to 2. It's currently 7.4 in the Betfair Exchange. Obviously, Aidan O'Brien, the master trainer, knows how to win this race. Another one as well is William Knight's Check and Challenge. Before this one hacked up at Newcastle, the right faces were on anti-post for this race before it won, and obviously got cut straight away. So if you're wanting 3 here, I'd probably do Royal Patronage. We've backed that one. Aidan of Roger Variance, and we'll chuck in William Knight's Check and Challenge. Obviously needs to prove he can handle the turf, but this one's highly thought of, and again, all the right faces were on for this anti-post before it won at Newcastle last time out.
Who are these right faces?
Can't disclose.
Sounds very mysterious.
He's a company man. He's not going to give that away to you on air, Wilders, is he? That's for
This
sure.
makes me laugh,
We've already
that
called him out for not coming into the studio. Right, we're ramping up. We can see you watching out there. Great stuff. Mark's given us that. Then what's the trade? So is it on?
Oh, we have
Royal Patronage.
score on Royal
That's already on,
Patronage.
right? And Aidan, was that the other one you
Yeah,
liked?
score and off on Aidan.
Right, okay. Just taking some flyers. Shall we see if that's historically the right thing to do in this race? what the SPs are of these horses that tend to win these Guineas. Let's have a look. Poetic Flair last year. Do you remember him for Jim Bolger? We'll get on to Jim's runner in this.
By the way,
as
that
well.
was my horse to follow at the start of the last flat season. So
No one
enough
likes
about
an
me.
after
Continue.
timer. No one really likes you, Robbie. And you know and now you've done after
But you've got
timing
no
as
one
well.
else to come on these shows. So here we are.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was told make something of Robbie Wilder's last December.
Yeah,
In fact,
you
we
had
could
to.
go into that, and I put some eggs in your basket, and I thought he's going to be great.
Yeah, I was a lost puppy in my previous role.
What are you making of him? This is your debut with him.
He's thinking this geezer's weird.
Well, you are.
I'm thinking, where the hell is
16 to 1
posting?
Poetic Flair. Qipco, do you remember in 2020? 10 to 1. Magna Grecia, lone furrow up the Stance Rail. Of course, 11 to 2. Saxon Warrior, who remembers him? Aidan O'Brien again. Churchill 6 to 4. That was the last fav to win. Galileo Gold, the last horse from stall 1 to win in 2016. 14s. Glen Eagles 4 to 1. Favourite Glen Eagles get some crazy prices. 9 to Thunder 40 to 1 because King Mountain was so well fancy. Dawn of Approach, great scenes back in 2013. 11 away, and Camelot, of course, in 2012 was 15 to 8 as well. So it's a favs race, really, isn't it? Well fancy, but you do get the odd madness. Okay, let's. We've been talking about the multiples. Then before we give ours on the panel, the 1, 2, 3s from Dave Orton, Mattie Batchelor, and Robbie, the Postman Wilders. What is the forecast play? How do we do this on the exchange,
now,
Mark?
isn't
Can we get this up? Robbie, you might have to get on the
Yeah,
actual
sure.
machine if you don't mind now.
Yeah. Right, what are we doing? Yeah, sports.
What race are you looking for here?
Well, let's have a look for some forecasts and all that sort of stuff.
But
Because we've had a lot of them coming in, haven't we, Mark? The 1, 2, 3s. Can you get it up, Robbie,
yeah,
on the
it's
screen?
looking at, yeah.
Let's see if we
Yeah,
can
I
do
think
this.
it's on Sportsbook, this one.
Just,
Have a look.
just distracted by an advert.
Natalie Green in the celebration
Yeah.
chase last week got the forecast up 13 to 2
Right,
when
who do we want?
Grenadine
Who
beat
do we
So
want,
Royale.
fellas?
It's on the forecast Sportsbook. Yeah, forecast, TriCast, yeah.
Forecast, TriCast. Do you know? I mean, you're
Oh,
supposed to be a
yeah,
pro.
yeah, sorry.
Your popularity is waning.
No one likes me. Right.
But you don't care.
Nah,
That's the song, isn't
no
it?
point, is there? Right, who do we want? We're going to have to scroll down a long
Let's
way
have
to
a-
get these three, aren't we?
Well, let's have a look. What's Berkshire's Shadow?
What-
Let's give
who's-
Dan's one. Berkshire's Shadow to beat. Hang on, what was it?
He won't be there, no. I mean, I'm just going to get on here and chuck horses into the thing, and then it'll tell you.
All right, okay.
Right, so what are we going for?
Mark, if we had to have a forecast, what would you go for? Native Trail nap there by the spotlights. Look, let's see who did that.
I think he's on the wrong side, Native Trail. I think it could be a boil over here.
Is this a place lay? Come on.
Don't tempt me, he's freeze on. I think.
He had a good
cogs.
thing.
Sure.
The drone pilot had a good thing about it. Either that or one of his drones had just gone over Windsor.
He's freeze on. You're tempting me. He's freeze on. He's 1.18. He's nearly 6. He's on in the 4. 'Cause if he's on the wrong side,
No, don't
He's
do
on
it.
the wrong
Don't do
side.
it. You're overthinking it.
Yeah?
fun stop.
Don't
All
do
right,
it.
okay, let's
Yeah.
go down the panel
When
then.
the
Let's
fun
find out
stops.
when the fun stops. You're quite right. It was an own goal for Burnley as well. I'm finding out from Watford. Typical. You know what's going to
Just
happen.
sums up your season, doesn't it?
It really does. It really does. Thankfully, the jump season was a lot better than Watford's football season for me. Okay, it is tip time here. Robbie Wilder's taken away.
Yeah.
What wins the 2,000 guineas?
Luxembourg.
Love it. Why?
I think he might end up being the best horse here. And he's just big enough I thought he would be. I backed him a long time ago for this, before he won the Vertin Futurity.
Okay.
So I'm quite excited for this one. I think he might potentially be better over a bit further in time, but I mean he gets a mile perfectly well, and this is a great starting point. He's been well talked about as the Ballydor's best 3-year-old colt.
They
I
need
mean,
the
these
middle
are the-
distance colt this year, don't they? They
They
really
do,
need
yeah.
it. So why are we putting him up for a guineas?
Because he won over that Vertin Futurity form isn't too far off Native Trail's Dewhurst.
They do say that this is the best trial for the Derby, right? They,
Yeah.
in inverted commas, that's usually us.
I think he's going to be in the frame, providing he's on the right part of the track. I'll give a small mention to LaSalle at a massive price as well.
Second
Didn't run
in the
badly
green.
in the Greenham, yeah.
Go on.
He obviously had Angel Bloom in behind, who I quite like for the French Guineas as well. Just thought, I mean, he was about 66 to 1. I just thought he could go well. I feel like it's quite wide open apart from Luxembourg and Native Trail. So
Wow. Okay. So 1, 2, 3. So
yeah, Luxembourg, Native Trail, Lucelle.
Luxembourg Native Trail forecast, Mark. Let's get to work on that one quickly just before we get Matty Batches. Who wins the 2,000 Guineas batch?
Native trial for me, because as I said earlier, I know a lot of people said, he'd probably be suited by a flatter track, but he handles this track so well. As I say, I've watched his runs. He just gets his legs changed in the right places, hits the hill, and he goes. And yeah, for me, he's been there and done it. He's proven, and I think he's the real deal.
Second
for me is Luxembourg. I think possibly the Derby would be his main aim.
Mm-hmm.
And third, I think Perfect Power. A lot of this horse, I think I saw Richard Farr in the week, he said they're going to try something different going to the start, because both of his previous wins, he's gone down to the start very lively. So that's using up important petrol if you want to stay a mile. So if they can get him down to the start, nice and easy, and use that in the race, and he does stay. I think if you can reserve that energy, he stays, and to me, he nicks a place. And he's a big price for me.
He's in 3, isn't he, as well,
Yeah.
which, as the way they've been running on the track thus far, a low draw now looks like it's good. No one gone for Caribus so far.
No, I'd rather he had the run behind. I mean, I know Luxembourg.
You say that.
I know Luxembourg hasn't had one, but Aidan O'Brien is so good with.
8 of the last 10 haven't had a run. They've come here to
Right.
start
I
their
didn't think it'd
season.
be that, but I mean, 5
Well,
of those are
Poetic
Aidan
Flair
O'Brien.
last
5 of those
season
are Aidan
had a
O'Brien, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like he's so good at doing
But
that.
Charlie Appleby, he's his peer now, isn't he?
Yeah, he's doing brilliant stuff. But
He had the work
I'd rather
at
see
the
a
track
run
during the
with
Craven
Caribus.
meeting, didn't he?
Yeah.
Last season, Charlie was at pains not to call Native Trail the best that they had, 2-year-old boys.
Yeah.
Because he believes that the work this does at home is ridiculous.
he's already
Caribus.
Caribus.
He's already 08. Oh, right, Caribus.
Yes.
Really?
Yes. When he got beaten by Royal Patronage
Yeah, he shouldn't
in the
have got
Royal
beaten there,
Log,
should he?
it was a case of going too soon, because
Yeah.
we saw him obviously in the autumn stakes, which Magna Grecia successfully trialled in before taking this. He just, but he was beaten at 101 that day, Mark, right?
Yeah, I'll need to check that one out there, but I'm trying to work out these tricasts for you. We could actually have it right off here if one of these land.
Go on.
So
Yeah,
I'm
go
just
on,
making a note of them there. So what was the one you like? You like Native Trail, Luxembourg, and LaSalle? Are the ones you like?
Yeah, yes, please, mate. Yeah.
Yes.
Just having a look there. Are you able to place them on your end, or you want me to do it?
No, I can do it, mate. I'll give it a go.
No worries.
I mean,
Mark's in good profit today for the retraining of racehorses, so we're going to try and knock it out the
Native
park.
Trail.
Why not? It's classic
Yeah.
day.
loose.
You can have it right off.
All right, this is the day to try and do it in this race, absolutely. Darren Walker comes on while we're doing that and says, hope Perfect Power don't stay, because got him at 16 to 1 for the Commonwealth Cup. Again, like the Derby, this is probably a very good trial for the Commonwealth Cup.
Yeah, definitely, yeah, fair shout.
Yeah, but good shout and a nice tasty price. I suppose when he won the middle part, Darren, last year, you thought that was the absolute way to go with him, didn't you? He has got stamina on the damn side, though, and I don't know, the more I look at him, the more I can see him running a big race as well, actually. No one going for Point Lonsdale. How are we getting on with the exotic?
You might have to do this, Mark. It's just.
Mark put it on it. Is that confusing you?
Oh, Mark, have you put it on?
No, I've not put it on yet, no.
Oh, okay, if you could, mate, because I'm not able to open it. I don't play these kind of ever play tricast and fullcast.
A lot of people don't.
Do you know what?
the
Though? I
exotics.
actually did. I've only ever done, I think, 2, and I did get the Hennessy 1, 2, 3 in like 2012.
Again,
The one-
there's a lot of after time coming
Sorry, I know, but no, that was just lucky.
It wasn't when
like-
Batch won the race.
It was when
obviously.
Bobsworth beat Tidal. Below another one.
I can see a great comment coming in from Matthew Samuel here. It's quite a meaty one. Let's read it out. Watching the race at Newmarket today, the ground's very fast. It's certainly quickening up. I can see a fast pace being set here. We'll try and tell you who might lead then in a second. So you want to be with a horse who could stay in touch, quicken up the hill. So he thinks light infantry, unbeaten for Dave Simcock. All right, we'll have a look at him after I give you my 1, 2, 3. And a big lucky 63 win if Luxembourg wins for Marc. Well, I'm with Luxembourg as well. I'm with Luxembourg as well. I think the market's got this right. And at the time, he still is the big of the big three. I think the big three might fight this out. I struggled to see some of the others. Perfect Power would be the one for me.
What's your 3 day?
I'm going to go Luxembourg to beat Caribus and Native Trail in that order. I'm going sort of. I think the market's got the right 3. Historically, that they look like the ones they're going to be with. I think that Caribus, if he got beat here, he could go and win in Ireland and maybe beat a St James's Palace horse, because I do think Native Trail will relish going up to a mile 2. And unlike you, Batch, I know he's 2 from 2 in the dip. He's a big horse, isn't he?
Yeah.
And he looked in trouble in the Dewhurst when Debarwi Legend tried to get him out, who reopposes. He would have gone quite big there. He probably went a lot bigger than his SP. It was ridiculous SP in the Craven, wasn't it? Was he 4s on, something like that? He was 4s on. He definitely went out. He's an in-running horse, Native Trail, because he hits a flat spot, obviously, when the turbo kicks in.
Yeah.
He's different. But I think on a flat track, we're going to see something very special from him. The value pick for me is Luxembourg, who you may remember this time last Saturday, regular viewers, Barry Earl suggested might well do a Camelot, his sire, and what he tried so desperately in vain to do, the Triple Crown, win this, win the Derby, win the St Leger. And Aidan, of course, has been comparing him to the great Camelot, who won this in 2000 and, was it 12? Yes, it was.
Dave, I think they're both Aidan O'Brien runners are overpriced here for me. Luxembourg's a 9-2 chance for me, 7-1 on the Betfair Exchange right now.
Frankie Dettori, last year, do you remember he sat on Mother Earth? 10-1 shot, won the 1,000 guineas. He's on Point Lonsdale, and Frankie had that all of a sudden. Whatever he sat on, you know what I mean. The Group 1s, they tended to win, didn't they? Yeah, Snowfall. That's it, Rob. So 2 classics last year for Frankie and Aidan in these colours, and the Derek Smith colours, of course, and of Ballydoyle, and Point Lonsdale, who's drawn 11 and will want to get on with it. I think he's a Chesham winner, and he definitely wants his trip. I think this is a meaty race, Marc Hryhorskyj. What does the market think at the moment?
Yeah, Native Trail went out to around 2.4, it's back into 2.28. There's nearly 1.5 million in the market. I'm just trying to put those TriCast bets on. The 2 that you liked was Perfect Power and Native Trail. And what was the last one you liked, Matty?
Perfect Power, Luxembourg, Native Trail.
Okay, that's a 14-1 chance. I'll stick a tenner on that for you. That's on.
Lovely.
I'm just having some issues with the LaSalle one with Robbie.
Yeah,
but I'm sure we can work something out. If it cops, don't worry. We'll make sure
mate.
we be out.
Appreciate it.
No need to panic, says Marc Hryhorskyj.
Can I take some of that cash if it wins?
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I'll speak to the gaffer first.
I'll second that as well, can I?
Well, Barry's on track, of course. We might try and get a word with Barry, I think, tomorrow. The sun is shining in Newmarket, guys. That's the thing. So it's great to see, isn't it? All the crowds back. Listen, let's not let that become too complacent. This is whatever we're saying about the state of the game, and it does seem to be a lot of negativity out there at the moment. It's coming back. And we've seen some great fields there today. That 21 runner sprint was a treat, wasn't it? 50 grand prize money. This is remarkable. The right horses are here tomorrow. All the right trial winners are there. Bar, maybe
what
in
I
Spiral.
want to know is, mate, is anyone wearing white trainers at Newmarket? Because yeah, you're wearing white trainers, Matty's wearing black trainers, wear trainers if you want, they're nice, okay?
There you go.
You can get some very smart trainers now, can't you?
You can, yeah. They just go nicely with an outfit, like. You can't be turning people away from wearing trainers, mate. That's ridiculous.
No, it is ridiculous. However, I do look. People, I went to Ascot on Wednesday.
Up for them now,
look, we're digressing slightly, but we've got 5 or 6 minutes to do this. I went to Ascot on Wednesday, and people were the envy of the world during Wild Ascot Week. Yeah. People that can't get to it from internationally all over the place, as far as New Zealand and Japan, they all want to come for the pageantry. It's the place where the flowers stand to attention, isn't it? Yeah. It's people love dressing up. They love the rules of British racing. We can't throw that away. But I do agree. In your midweek meetings, you like to see Faulkner where they do it fine. Windsor, you see people. It shouldn't be turning away people from Sandown when you see what else gets in.
I totally get the Royal Ascot.
Yeah, right.
That's brilliant. You don't change traditions.
Well, people like wearing a suit, don't they? You don't get to wear a suit very often these days.
I love
people
looking.
Don't come to the office
I love
anymore.
looking like the Artful Dodger at Ascot.
And speaking of clobber, okay, what we got? Oh yes, and from New Zealand, look, Rubicon, New Zealand. Robbie likes. Hang on, number 10, number 9, number 10. A bloke in blue jumper. 10, 9, 11. Oh, this is you're getting on the right. You're following
on earth does
the
he not know
TriCasts.
Mattie Batchelor's name? This geezer's
Bloke
more
in
famous
blue
than I
jumper.
am.
Yeah, absolutely. But this is a Royal Ascot riding jockey. Absolutely. 20 winners on the
Bloke in
flat.
blue jumper. I thought you were talking about Keith for a second.
That's Damson.
But they are the trifectas, aren't they, Rubicon?
He's from New Zealand. He's probably in bed by the time.
Well, we get a lot of
Probably
international
is, mate,
viewers because you can't tune in and get the channels, can you? See, so when you get on the search engines, welcome along. We're here
Rubicon.
to
What's
tell
your
you
real
exactly
name,
what
mate?
happens.
Let us know.
Watching him go down, guys, can see Native Trail, absolute gentleman of a horse, isn't he?
Look at him, yeah, just a gentle giant. Looks the perfect ride, doesn't he? Just taking everything in his stride.
Yeah.
Ears pricked.
Chilled out.
Yeah.
We ought to talk, of course, about the also rans according to the market. Wizard of Oz, the Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of
I had to fall into that trap,
Oh,
didn't
come
I?
on.
Isn't it great to see John Egan riding in a classic? Of course, son David rides in Aidan as well. Must be a very, very cool moment for the family. Nice horse, overface though. I think we can say that. Potential pace edge. Takarib Bay. Beaten in the free handicap, wasn't he? Should come on for it, probably a nice horse. Sean Levy would be a massive surprise. Of course, don't forget Bilston Brook won the 1,000 guineas for the Hannahs at 66 to 1. It's one of the strangest thing in the world. Le Sale, this is a phenomenally big price, isn't it, Le Sale?
Big old price, yeah.
Why?
Should I have a bit of 80 to 1? Maybe.
He's 120s on Betfair. It's massive, isn't he? Huge price.
Go and have a
I'm
bit.
going to have a little, I'm going to have a bet now.
Here's a bet. He's 10 to 1 to finish in the top 4 here, Robbie.
So do you want me to do it on the Betfair one?
Let's see. Let's see.
Sam,
I think
we
we've got enough.
We're going through the also rans according to the markets because we've got to mention these horses. You know what happens here on RP Live? If we don't do it, basically, then they tend to go and win. Le Sale, huge price considering he was a proper 2-year-old, but is he just a sprinter? Robbie Wilders would say no. We must mention Boundless Ocean as well.
Oh yeah, I really liked him. Disappointed he couldn't win his maiden when he returned, but he was much better the second time out.
Yes.
I know Bolt, he was like what was that? I think it's the Airfield Stakes last season where he just got no run and he should have won that. Very good horse. We didn't really know an awful. Poetic Flair had quite a similar profile actually coming into the Guineas last year, so you can see him running well.
It's just them, isn't it? And he's
Just don't
drawn in
know.
5. You think he'll be up there as well? Boundless Ocean, Manning.
Yeah.
They tend to ride that way. Kevin Manning again.
He's quite weak on the Betfair Exchange here, Dave. He's nearly out to 6 to 4. I did think he would drift. Late money for
Trial.
Luxembourg.
Yeah.
Luxembourg is.
He looks good, doesn't he?
He's into 5 to 1 now. Caribous is drifting. I think that looks about right. I genuinely think he's a 9 to 2 chance. 7.8 was too big.
Yeah.
But that's and Point Lonsdale's shortening up as well, 7.8. But Native Trail weak on the off. Wee bit of late money for all patrons. He's 50s. And Aiden's out to 60s.
We're watching
but
him
yeah,
down
we'll
at
see
the
how this one
start.
goes.
We're watching down at the
well
start,
balanced.
Mark, and there's a little bit. He's sort of hardening up on track a little bit. Kariba's coming back in, so this is like they've kind of given the carrot, haven't they? The books out there, and now the money's starting to come in. What's the liquidity out there on the exchange at the moment, please, Marc Hryhorskyj?
Yeah. One more click. Yeah, just hit 2 million.
Way.
Over 2 million, so we're flying. Yeah. Native Trail very weak. That free place lay probably would have been value as well. He's out to nearly 4 to 11 now. Could have gone about 1 to 3 there, but yeah, they want to be taking Native Trail on. All the backers are queuing up to get on Luxembourg here.
Royal Patronage, the other one. Light Infantry, which someone liked out there as well for Jamie Spencer and Dave Simcock. Dave, of course, in very good form at the moment. So Dubai Legend, Check and Challenge, Newmarket winner, a Newcastle winner, Turf debut for William Knight, Danny Tudhope, drawn in 13, John Gosden in the week. So if there's an outsider for you out there that could fly, this might be him. That is the field covered. You're on Native Trail. Sam
Native
Hart is in the
Trail,
studio,
yeah.
seems to think you're about to ride it. You look like you're about to
I'm
get
ready.
a cab on.
I'm ready.
We could have Will Buick here in the studio. There's a million shot landed. Right, OK. They are going in. Good luck. It's the 2022 2,000 guineas. A new star is about to be born. Will it be the champion 2-year-old of last year? We do see them beaten, but he won the Craven. He's 2 from 2. It is the beast that is Native Trail. Caribous, his stablemate, holds sway in the market. Luxembourg looked marvellous to my eye, Robbie. Look,
Did he?
beautiful. Yeah, there's just a
Good-looking
breeze
boy.
down there keeping the sweat from going on him, I think.
And here we are, 1.5 minutes after the race time. Not any horses are in the
Caribous is very
stalls.
weak. He's out nearly 7 to 1. But they want the backers are queuing up for Luxembourg here. Yeah.
Thank you, Mark. All right, so if you're late money monkey out there, Luxembourg for you. Barry Orr, we're watching you. I know if there'll be some celebrations down there for Barry, of course, because he put this up as a potential Triple Crown winner. They've got, of course, Tenebrism, the favourite running at the moment for the 1,000 guineas, all bar in Spiral there tomorrow. It's going to be raucous scenes in 24 hours' time. We will be back for you. But right now, it's the final race of the afternoon. We've had great fun this afternoon, guys.
Been good, hasn't it?
It has been good.
Always is.
Always a
Honest.
pleasure. Your
Always
laid-back stance is
Yeah.
popular out there, I'm sure.
Let's do it again sometime. Yeah?
Well, let's do it again sometime.
I forgot to. I'm inquisitive about the old hat.
Oh yeah, I've completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
They're going in.
Maybe
We're
I should
gonna have to
save
do
it
this
for next
after.
time.
Save it.
Yeah.
Okay, they're off and running in the 2022 Guineas. Is everything out all right? Yep, just about. I'll tell you what, one had a stumble on the far side. I think it might have been Qipco actually looking at it. No, he's okay. There was something on the far side that stumbled a little bit coming out. See if I can
Right,
pick.
Royal
What is it?
Patronage off the
Might have been
flyer here, isn't he?
Luxembourg. It was
We're off
Luxembourg.
the flyer.
It's a fly, yeah.
Okay, so Royal
Luxembourg.
Patronage out in front. Point Lonsdale, as expected, doing plenty on the near side. Native Trail, got some pace to aim at if you're with him. Don't worry. What's this? Looking at it, a Dubai legend, very keen. Aidengul. It was indeed Luxembourg that
Luxembourg's
took a
a bit
full
keen.
step. He's got it all to do from there, I'm afraid. Qipco's being held up on the far side. Perfect Power doing plenty. Batch, if you had to be on one right now after 3 furlongs.
Native Trial.
He's got a beautiful touch. What about you, Mr. Wilders?
Certainly not Luxembourg, mate.
Well, he's
Probably
going to...
Royal Patronage, I've got like... He's kind of,
LaSalle trying to get
emerging
into
now.
it.
Starting
Check
emerge.
and challenge for William Knight, travelling quite well.
Cruising.
Takarib Bay going all right. Marc,
I mean, Luxembourg can't win from there.
Point
Native
Lonsdale
Trail
at the moment.
2.2 in running. Point Lonsdale is 6.8 in running.
Here comes Native Trail on the
Well,
near
well.
side. The beast, he goes into the dip. Qipco's not gone with yet. Luxembourg
Here he
looking for
comes.
him
Come on,
on the
David.
far
Luxembourg.
side.
Come on,
Here we
David.
go. Then what we got here?
Go
Oh,
on,
there.
Will.
Royal Patronage is there.
Go on,
Hryhorskyj
Will.
going for it.
Go on,
Native
then,
Trail on the
Buick.
near side.
Luxembourg's
Light
not out of
infantry.
this.
Now they're finally
Luxembourg's
coming.
not out of this.
Stand side.
Come
and it's
on.
Native Trail.
Go on, the trial!
Luxembourg on the far
Luxembourg,
side.
stick your neck
Surely
out.
too much to do. It's
Come
the
on.
stablemates. And it looks like Qipco is going
Qipco.
to take it out. Oh my goodness gracious me. It is the trifecta. The marquee leaders do it. Qipco has his day in the sun. And it's an aye for James Doyle.
well.
Absolutely unbelievable scenes. He got beaten on Kingman. He comes back. Qipco's quicker than Native Trial, who had to go over across. Luxembourg surely lost it at the start. What a derby trial that was. Marc Hryhorskyj, no disappointments.
Yeah, I mean, Qipco's done it well in the end for James Doyle. I think Native Trail done quite a lot through the run. Luxembourg's traded even money in running.
Really?
Even
That's
up
ran
at
a
the
hell of a
start.
race.
Yeah.
What happened to the start?
Yeah, I think if Gat gets off on level terms, it's probably the one to be on. He's been matched at 2.02 for £92. Big run from Royal Patronage. I'm not sure why he came standside. He probably maybe stayed in the middle there. That's traded as low as 16.5 in running. And even Roger Varian's Eden, the other one that I put up, that one came there with a challenge as well, but probably needs further. Put that up at 40s. It's hit 9.4 in running for decent money. But Native Trail has returned 2.45, so it's around the 6 to 4 mark ESP. That one's went as short. Quite incredible. It's went as short as 1.33 for £64. I didn't think he was ever going to get there.
Wow. A new star has indeed been born. So much was said about the 101 defeat in the Royal Lodge. He showed his colours, of course, in the Autumn Stakes. He hadn't had the run. That's now 9 of the last 11 that have gone to the Guineas fresh. Native Trail, you have to say, had every chance. Luxembourg, definitely the eye catcher of the race. What price on the sportsbook for the Derby coming up, Marc? We'll come to you in a minute. Pick the bones out of that. You thought you had it, Batch?
Yeah, I thought he was coming, meet the rising ground, and I think he did, but Qipco just looked like he outstayed him, if anything. Perfect Power looks like a non-stayer. And what a great run from Luxembourg from the bad start. As you say, he's half tripped over coming out the stalls, and with a level sort of start, he would have been there or thereabouts.
They'll be cursing that, Wilders, as you will.
He'll go on to do something special this season, Luxembourg. I think.
They are desperate for the middle distance newcomer, aren't they, really?
That's the boy. I'd
That's
like
the
to
boy.
point out as well, I took a lot of stick for saying Native Trail shouldn't have been as short as 6 to 4, didn't I?
This is your opportunity to readdress
think
that.
on, mate.
Yeah, OK. The anti-postman was right.
Luxembourg's 100 to 30 with us for the Derby. Qipco's still a 20 to 1 chance if you want to get on that. 20 to 1. I don't know how long that'll last.
Well, let's have a look, because with the pedigree, you're talking about Dubai, where you have a Teofilo mare. 1 mile 2 is there. They'd have to have some cojones on them not to go down the St James's Palace route, I think, Marc. Native Trail, very interesting. Batch seems to think he got outstayed there. Interesting.
Yeah.
Again, I want to see him back on a flat track. But yeah, look, it's a lot of speed in his pedigree as well. And Oasis Dream, of course, champion sprinter. Looking for the also right. Aiden was 4th, I think. A lot of you fans out there went for the Roger Varian's Flyer. He has run an absolute blinder, shaping all over like a mile 2 horse as well.
He's 25 for the Derby, Dave. I think he could be valued. I think he'll improve, stepping up even further.
We will get all the comments from the track coming your way. 6 o'clock, of course, most of the Members Club action ready to go. You'll also be getting Tom Siegel's tips and Paul Keeley as well for the Sunday. Wow, that concludes us here then. Super Saturday, classic action. Marc Hryhorskyj, really good return to the show, man, today. You're back tomorrow.
Yeah, good to be back. And obviously, we've got the fillies running tomorrow. Hopefully, we can get a couple more winners. There's a few that I fancy at big prices as well. So, yeah, good to be back, and I'll see you again tomorrow.
Thank you, Marc. 3 more races to come at Newmarket, of course. Steer those drones safely, please, my man. Mattie Batch, you had the Godolphin collars on today. Not quite the one you wanted, but it's great to have you with us, Batch.
Yeah, it's great to be here. Just like to say, Dave, I'm playing in a charity football match tomorrow with a few Brighton old players down at the Wifteen, the old ground, so for Martlet. So if anyone wants to pop down, 1:30 kick-off, and be great to see
Go
someone.
and shout you up and down that line.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's a great win back. Wilders, slightly
Pleasure.
deflated after Luxembourg, but...
Oh, I got the each way money.
Yeah, and,
all right,
and
yeah.
are we now on the Derby winner?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to do
yeah.
something special this season.
OK, 100 to 30 on the sports book for the Derby if you fancy it. Keep your comments coming in. We read them overnight and we'll pick them up again tomorrow. I've been Dave Orton. Thanks to Dan and Sam in the gallery. Everyone at Betfair as well. Only the half-time whistle. We'll see you this time tomorrow.